everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So before we dive into today's episode, which is really going over all things Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, this season 6, it's basically the Lisa and Meredith show, and we're going to talk about the reunion. Obviously, reunion part 1 was all about Lisa, and reunion part 2 was all about Meredith. Now, I'm going to have some unpopular opinions, so buckle up. But before we dive in, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. It is a fun and easy way to support me and the channel. And be sure to comment down below where you're watching from, who's your fave, who should get the boot, who should come back, and all of your thoughts. Whether you agree or disagree, put in the chat. Let's have some fun. So with that, let's dive right on in. So first up, let's talk about how everyone's storyline is Lisa frickin' Barlow. Like literally everyone. So these are the girls this season. We have Lisa, we have Meredith, we have Heather, Bronwyn, we have Whitney, Angie, Mary, and we have Brittany. We're going to get into it. I would say the theme for this season and this reunion is hypocrisy and jealousy. So I'm going to break down each girl and we'll go through it. Hey, Miss T, how are you, sweetheart? What is up? I know, we're back. So let's dive right in. Hey, Miss T, that's right, you guys. As you come in, be sure to say hi in the chat box and let's all have a really fun time. So Lisa Barlow obviously is the MVP, and I'm happy that she kept it unbothered during the reunion. So if you guys have followed me for a while, the last time I talked about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, I gave Lisa and Meredith 2 notes. My first note was they are such a stronger team together than they are apart. This is during the time when Meredith was still mad at Lisa for her hot mic moment. And I was like, I get it. What she said was really shady, but like you guys need to come together. As we've seen in the last 2 seasons, season 5 and season 6, when Meredith and Lisa are a team, everybody loses their gosh darn minds, okay? They cannot handle it when they are a unit. Heather Gay is over here having seizures and conniptions and crashing out because she can't get Meredith to turn on Lisa. Now, what I think is going on, and my second thing I said to them was, my note was to Lisa Barlow. Do not let these women get you out of pocket. Do not let these women make you crash out because that's when she loses all of her power. Name one person on the couch whose storyline was not Lisa Barlow. All season, Whitney was up Lisa's butt, up Meredith's butt. Mary is even all up Lisa's butt. Heather always up Lisa's butt. Brittany, Meredith's butt. It goes on and on and on. So clearly, Lisa is the MVP. She's that girl. Love her or hate her, she's that girl no matter what, no matter where you stand, right? So when she gets out of pocket and starts to storm off and get upset and cry and all that stuff, she loses her power. And the other women relish in that. You see how they smirk and they smile and they absolutely love it, getting her out of her character, because that gives them the power. That's when they can go, see, Lisa's crazy. Lisa's storming off. She's not accountable. She's this, she's that, whatever. But during this reunion where she sits there and she is just like, what? And it's just like breaking it down, A, B, C, and D. The girls are shook. And you saw that in part 2 where Bronwyn and Heather and I think Angie, they're even talking about like Lisa's just like this and she's just stoic and she's not even saying anything and all this, this, that, and the third. They're clocking it because they cannot move her. So let that be a note for all of you guys. Do not let anybody who is jealous of you, who wants to take your position, knock you out of your spot, take you out of your character. Be cool, calm, and collected. And I love that Meredith and Lisa came ready to play. They were not joking. They came prepared. They had talking points. They were a united front, and they were not going to be broken. And I was here for it all day long. And all these other women were absolutely shooketh. And I'm going to break down all the hypocrisy and jealousy. And I am a Lisa and Meredith sympathizer. Those are my girls. It is what it is. I'm going to break it all down. Okay. Knock that off the gate. All right, so let's talk about lawsuits and lies. All right, let's get to the first talking point. I got my little notes over here. All right, lawsuits and lies, the hypocrisy of it all. So when Bronwyn has all of these lawsuits against her for fraud, identity theft, DUIs and X, Y, and Z and alleged, let's say alleged, everything is alleged and opinion based, DUIs and stealing and corporate cards and all this other stuff. It's, oh, well, everything was dismissed. That was in my past. It really doesn't matter. And then when they were going to the cruise or whatever with the on the yacht, everyone was coddling Bronwyn, like, oh, are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? Let's not say anything when she gets on the boat. Let's make her feel comfortable. So why is Bronwyn being coddled when she has all of these allegations and frauds and lawsuits and lies and no one can talk about it? Who leaked it? Oh my gosh. And everything's dismissed. I don't know why you guys are coming at me. But when Lisa has lawsuits against her, that have been dismissed or are currently in litigation, looking like they're going to be dismissed or settled, or whatever the case may be, all of a sudden, it's like the biggest thing in the world. Lisa has all these lawsuits, blah, 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 blah. And to tell you the truth, if Lisa can get rich men to pay her Amex Black Card, chef's kiss, key, you keep going, girl. Like, if you can do that, knock yourself out. The things against Lisa, like, who cares? Who cares? She got a rich guy to pay her credit card. Good for her. How is that different than Bronwyn having a rich guy, her husband, you know what I mean, paying for her credit card and her life and all of that stuff? You see what I'm saying? So with that, it is what it is with that. So there's the hypocrisy there. Also, no one is asking who leaked Lisa's lawsuits, but everyone's asking who leaked Bronwyn's lawsuits. Like, who says there's even a leak within the group? So when it happens to Lisa, it's a problem. It's not a problem, but when it happens to everybody else, there has to be a leak. And speaking of the leak, I think we all know it's Heather Gay, allegedly, right? Dana Wilkie has came out and said that she was trying to feed her different things. Monica has come out and said that she was trying to feed her different things as well. And then also, if you notice, with Heather Gay, she's at the center of everything. Anytime it's like she's projecting. Anytime, like, she was saying, oh, Lisa's the leak because anytime someone fights with her, something comes out about them. Well, every time someone fights with Heather, something comes out about them. Lisa's lawsuits came out. Meredith stuff has come out. Whitney Rose jewelry, Alibaba came out. Bronwyn and stuff. So anytime someone has a beef with Heather, their stuff gets leaked. But the one person who's never had anything really leaked about them is Heather herself, and maybe like Angie. Mary doesn't count because we all know she's a cult leader. Like, in my personal opinion, I think Mary and her church is a cult. Anytime you replace God or you exalt yourself or someone else over God, that is a cult and that is not of God, in my personal opinion. And she's up there calling Lisa Barlow dark when she's dark. I'm sorry. I think Mary is dark. And you know who else I think is dark? I think Brittany is dark too. I think there's something very snaky, evil, manipulative about Brittany. She plays this very like, oh, me? I'm just going to cry and Jared, and everyone's so mean to me. I'm not buying this act, Brittany. It's like a bad Lifetime movie. I think Brittany is way more malicious and way more calculated and way more manipulative than we give her credit for, because she tries to come across as like this wounded bird and just doing wacky stuff. No, girl, like, we're on to you. Number one, I think that when it comes to her children, and again, I don't like to talk about people's kids, but you bring another show, it's a storyline, we're allowed to talk about it. I personally think Brittany is jealous of her daughters. I think she was jealous that her ex-husband was giving his daughters attention and wanted to be with his daughters when she probably wanted that attention herself. And that's why she abandoned her kids, because she was jealous of them. Unfortunately, that does happen. You do have mothers who are jealous of their own daughters, especially when it comes to male attention. So there's that on that. So let's see. Oh, this was another thing I wanted to say. Another observation I had. Number one, where are the husbands? Let's talk about the husbands. I feel like this season, the husbands were very sparse. We didn't really see them that much as we usually have seen in the last 5 seasons. And then also, why are the husbands not at the reunion? You know what I mean? Like, none of the husbands are at the reunion. That's also very sus. So I'm wondering what's going on with the husbands and all of that. That was just an observation I wanted to throw out there with you guys. Another thing I wanted to talk about was a couple of things. Number one, the whole body image, body shaming. Did Lisa get plastic surgery? This, that, and the third. And then Andy asking her, what have you had done? Like, have we not learned that in 2026 we do not ask women the work that they've had done? I thought that was so disgusting and so distasteful. And how dare you spend 15 minutes berating Lisa about any work she may or may not have done when all of the women, and probably including Andy himself, are on the weekly shot, Botox, fillers, breast implants, butt implants, liposuction, all that stuff. It was, to me, that felt really gross and a low blow and totally unnecessary. And again, why is Andy Cohen asking women about the work that they've gotten done to their faces and their bodies? He did it before. I can't remember what happened, but I remember this happened before, and people were like, what the hell? Like, as they should be. Why are you asking a woman what work she's had done? Not your place at all, especially coming from Heather Gay. Child. Okay? So there's that. Let's also talk about what Lisa said with Angie, the prop flop. This pissed me off, okay? Because I thought we were going to get something juicy when she came out with her little scroll, and she was like, well, Lisa says she's not the leak, but she's been trolling me. Look at the scroll. These are all of these comments from Candace Story 7 or whatever the name is, and it's Lisa's phone number on it. So it's her doing it. That, number one, you then came out and said that you already told Lisa about this. How is this a mic drop? How is this some bomb? If you and Lisa have already talked about it, she's already denied it. So you're not like springing anything on Lisa. This isn't some gotcha moment because you guys have already settled it. This is a bunch of BS. Secondly, in a world of Photoshop, in a world of AI, to me, it's all a bunch of BS. Because number one, this is tech and security 101. Anytime you forget your password and you request a password reset, it will never, ever give you the full email or the full phone number. That is a data security breach. It will give you maybe like the first two letters of your email address, and then it'll be like asterisk, or like the last four digits of the phone number, and then it'll be XXXXX out. Everybody knows that. So if you're saying you went to this account and you tried to do the whole like forgot password and Lisa's full phone number came up, that's a flop and that is a lie, and you need to do better. Because out the gate, a 5-year-old knows that. No company will ever do a data breach where they will give you the full email and the full phone number of a lost password. It will always say password link sent to, and then it'll give you sort of like whatever. Or it'll say, password link sent to the email address you entered or the phone number you entered. But it will never divulge that information. That is a data breach. So right then and there, that, this group of hecklers, whatever the hell they are lying. Whitney's a known liar. Heather is the biggest liar on this planet. Angie needs to go somewhere and get a life, like point blank, period. Take Bronwyn and Brittany and Mary with you. I say we keep Lisa and Meredith because it's clearly their show. And we need to add in people around them who have their own lives, their own storylines, and some self-esteem. Speaking of self-esteem, let's quickly talk about Heather Gay. To me, Heather and Whitney kind of ruined this season. It could have been a lot of fun. It could have been a lot of girls kikiing and laughing and, just having a good, grand old time. But Heather's low self-esteem, self-hatred, and jealousy just made the whole season not even dark, but just sad. Like, I didn't want to sit there and watch grown women be this miserable over their jealousy of other grown women. The reason why Heather is so angry at Lisa is number one, because Lisa does not see her as a friend like that. And Lisa made that clear. She was playing nice with Heather, but the moment Heather stepped out of line, Lisa was just like, I have a very different life than all of you. That made Heather so butthurt. And from that moment, Heather was on a mission to bring down Lisa, to take her out, to bring her down a peg or two, because she thought she was going to be Lisa's new BFF. She wants, just like Lisa said, she was like, I could skin myself and you want to wear my skin. Heather is pathological and she's scary. And she's also extremely manipulative. She loves to play the victim and then also act like some moral compass, like she's the voice of the audience. No, you're not, Heather. You're a freaking weirdo. You are so obsessed with Lisa that the entire reunion, the only person you looked at and the only person you talked to was Lisa. Even when other people were talking, you were still looking at her and you were still talking to her and you were still talking about her, even when it wasn't even on topic of Lisa. That's how obsessed you are with her. And the reason why she's now going so hard for Meredith, did you clock it? When they were, where were they? I think maybe on the boat or wherever the hell they were, some girl trip. Lisa or Heather and Whitney was trying to get Meredith on their side. They were bad-mouthing Lisa about her being the leak or something like that, and they were not able to turn Meredith. That is when Heather turned on Meredith because she could not get her to go against Lisa, which is what her agenda was. Then all of a sudden, Meredith is an alcoholic. She's popping pills. She's not a good friend. I've been such a good friend to you, like completely psycho and psychotic in her mind, right? Number one, Heather, you cannot weaponize friendship. You're not that good of a friend. You're codependent and you're a weirdo. Point blank, you're a weirdo, point blank, period. You know, like, oh, I'm such a good friend to you and I go to bat with you and I ride so hard for you. Like, no, you don't. You go to bat and you ride for yourself and your own agenda. And if somebody doesn't go along with what you want, you play the victim and then you go around and get you all your little flying monkeys to go after them. So, no, Heather, you're not a good friend. You're not a ride or die. You are a narcissistic, low self esteem, weird, single white female. And I mean that from like the movie title, obviously. From like the movie. Like, cuckoo for absolute Cocoa Puffs. She wants, the reason why she's so mad at Meredith is because, like I said, she couldn't turn Meredith. And also, she wants to be in Meredith's position in Lisa's life. It's seething out of her pores. And that's the most dangerous type of woman. I'm telling you right now, like in a female friendship group, the most dangerous type of woman is a woman that hates you and is jealous of you, but has a pathological need to be in your proximity and to be near you and to be like in your orbit. Like Heather hates Lisa. She's so jealous of her, but she has a pathological need to be her friend, to be within her graces. And the reason why she's mad at Meredith is because Meredith is playing the position of Lisa's best friend, ride or die, that Heather so much wishes she could play. That's why she has so much vitriol for Meredith. It's really sick and really psycho, and it's a lot. But if you watch them, you'll see that. Okay, now let me see what my other point was. Oh, okay. This is the other hypocritical jealousy thing going on. Marriages and kids are off limits unless you're anybody but Lisa and Meredith. So Lisa and Meredith can't talk about kids, can't talk about the husbands, can't talk about marriages, but everybody else is allowed to talk about theirs. Bronwyn has talked about Lisa and John, and also Todd, which is really disgusting, has said horrible things about Lisa, like disgusting things. So if you want me to keep your husband's name out of my mouth, check your husband first and tell him to keep my name out of his. Like, how dare you tell me to say nothing about your husband when your husband is out here talking about me? And I'm not sexist or anything, but there is a difference when a man says such horrible, disgusting things about a woman. There is a moral, ethical difference between the two. And that's what Lisa said. She goes, well, your husband's out here talking, cash, like talking dirt about me. So once he did that, then yeah, gloves are off. And then Bronwyn's up here having a freaking mental breakdown. You talk about my husband. Blah, 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 blah. Shut up, Bronwyn. And then you had the audacity to lie on Meredith's husband, Sean or Seth. I can never remember his name. Sean or Seth. I forget. Her husband, and say, oh, he was out on a date. I saw them in New York, blah, 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 blah. And then Meredith later came out with a receipt where Todd said, no, he was actually, there was like 4 men at the table. It was clearly a business dinner. So you want everyone to respect your husband and your marriage and not talk about the infidelity that, by the way, Bronwyn, you brought up. Last season, Bronwyn was the one who said, you want to talk about the cheating, the infidelity? We can talk about it. Bronwyn was the one who brought up that there were cracks in her marriage, that Todd allegedly was cheating on her or had cheated on her. She's the one who brought up that her daughter was the one who saw him texting inappropriately with another woman. This all came from you, but yet you're now trying to tell everybody to keep your husband's name out of your mouth when that's what you should have done in the first place. And as quiet as it's kept, last season, Lisa was actually defending Todd. She was like, I've never heard this. I've known you for years. You guys always seemed really happy. I wouldn't, like, it was Lisa and Meredith who were actually defending Todd. And remember, Bronwyn got pissed at them. And then Heather and Whitney was like, why aren't you supporting, Bronwyn in this? Why aren't you believing her? Blah, 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 blah. So make it make sense, Bronwyn. You came on the show. You talked all this trash about your daughter and your husband. Lisa and Meredith actually defended him until Todd turned on Lisa. And then it was over. And then she was like, well, fine, you're going to turn on me. I'm going to talk about, your gout and this, that, and the third, because all's fair at this point, right? So that is so hypocritical. And then you had the audacity to try and act like you saw Meredith's husband cheating on her. But yet husbands and marriages are off limits for everybody, except for when it comes to you trying to slander somebody else. Same thing with Brittany. When Brittany had that little TikTok about, Meredith's husband, nobody, they're like, oh, this is horrible. Nobody believed it. But then they wanted to go so hard on Meredith for having a very normal, natural response to someone trying to, on national television, talk about a TikTok saying her husband is cheating on her. When I thought the whole sisterhood was marriages were off limits, but Brittany's allowed to do that. And now we're going to crucify Meredith for checking the hell out of Brittany for doing that. And let's talk about the plane incident while we're on it. I believe Meredith and Lisa's account over the rest of the girls, more so. Do I think that Meredith and Lisa are downplaying a bit? Yes. But do I think the rest of the girls are upplaying it more? 1,000%. And I'll tell you why. They tried to explain why there was no footage of this alleged Meredith blowout, crazy plane crap during today's reunion part 2, but that made zero sense. I'm not buying any of that. Number one, Brittany loves recording the women. She records them while they're freaking sleeping. You're not going to tell me that Meredith is pulling her hair, throwing wine on her, cussing her out, going crazy, in the air, and she didn't whip out her phone to record it? Yeah, right. That Heather didn't record it. That Whitney didn't record it. And then Heather being like, you would have to be such a POS to record that moment of your friends. Yeah, right, Heather. You record everybody all the time. You are the bone collector, bone creator, bone carrier. If it was as crazy as they were trying to make it out to be, they would have filmed it. Also, production was also on that flight. So you're going to, and I don't care where production was sitting, they were on the flight. You're going to tell me that Meredith was hooting and a hollering, throwing wine, pulling hair on this plane, and nobody from production got up to film this? That's a lie. Also, why did no passenger film this? You can't go out your house these days without a stranger on their phone filming you, without a Ring camera filming you. You can't do anything these days without somebody having a camera on you. So you're going to tell me that the entire cast of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City was on this flight and Meredith is pulling hair, cussing people out, throwing wine, shaking the table, And nobody on this flight got a screen grab, a Snapchat, a TikTok, a video. Nobody? You're lying. The reason why there is no footage is because it wasn't as bad as everybody's trying to make it out to be. I think that Meredith was bitching and moaning about Brittany as anybody would. If you're coming from my husband like that and my family, you're going to go after them to Lisa. And I think the rest of the girls found it annoying because they're all haters anyway. Anytime Meredith, like that's Meredith can't win. When Meredith would come to the group and she would be happy and like excited and wanting to engage, they'd be like, "Oh my God, what's wrong with Meredith? What's wrong with her? Why is she happy this morning? Why is she making us cappuccino?" But then when she's like, you know what? I'm just gonna chill. I'm gonna go like inward and not engage and do my own thing because every time I open my mouth, you guys are jumping down my throat. What's wrong with Meredith? She's not happy, Meredith. She's not talking to us. She's not engaging. She couldn't win. No matter what she did, they were coming after her. I think all of the girls were just annoyed by it, but I don't think anybody thought that Meredith was actually a threat to Brittany the way that they were trying to make it sound. Absolutely not. A flight attendant didn't get a snap? Nothing? No way. There's no way you're pulling hair, throwing wine, shaking tables, all of this in air, and you have zero footage of it. Doesn't make any sense. Okay? Does not make any sense. Also, let's talk, and also when it comes to like Heather as well, as talk about her real quick again. I agree with Carlos King when he said that Heather is one of the most dangerous housewives. How does Heather still have a job? Number one, she thinks she's a producer. Babe, you're not. You're ruining you and Whitney self-producing sucks. You're ruining the season. Get off my show. Get off the TV. I don't want to see you. But with the whole black eye thing in Jen Shaw, she either like alluded to or said, that maybe someone from production was responsible for her black eye. And there was like a big, investigation into everything. And clearly it came back that wasn't the case because at the end of the day, it was Jen Shaw when they were drunk, fighting, whatever the case may be. She got hit, black eye. How does she still have a job? How can you lie and say that the people that you work with physically assaulted or abused you? You put people's jobs and careers and reputation on the line, all to lie for Jen and your own selfish agenda, whatever the hell that was. If I was the people at Bravo or NBC, she would be, or at Truly Original or whoever produces Salt Lake City, she would be fired. Fired. Because if you flipped it around and you had a production person, so you had a PA who came in with a black eye and was like, Heather Gay hit me, and it turned out to be a complete lie, I can guarantee you that production person would be fired. Because you don't do that. You don't go into a workplace with a bruise on yourself and lie and say somebody that you work with hit you when you know that was not the case. She should be fired, and that is very dangerous. To me, Heather is the mole. She is the leak. It's clear. Dana Wilkie pretty much came out and said she was trying to leak stuff to her. Monica came out and said that she was trying to leak stuff to her. Every time somebody has a beef with Heather, things leak about her. She's the source. She's always pointing fingers and making stuff up. Like, it's clearly Heather. Look at her face. It's clearly her. In my humble opinion, allegedly. So there is that. All right, let's see what else is on the list. And you guys, put your comments and your questions down in the comment section. I will definitely be answering all of them. Okay. The third thing that is like the biggest hypocrisy, jealousy of all is the gaslighting when it comes to friendships and alliances. All of a sudden, when Lisa and Meredith are united, it's a tag team. Well, what do you call it when it's Bronwyn, Heather, Angie, Whitney, and Mary? Just like Lisa said, well, you recruited a team, right? So why is it okay for Heather and Angie and for Mary and for Whitney and for Bronwyn to all tag team in And it's always two or three against one. If Meredith's talking, all of a sudden it's Heather and it's Bronwyn. If Lisa's talking, it's Heather and it's Angie. Now all of a sudden Mary's jumping in and Whitney's jumping in. So it's okay for all of them to scheme, for all of them to have their agenda, to go after them. But the moment Lisa and Meredith are together and just being friends and having each other's back, all of a sudden it's a problem. I'm going to need all of these ladies to get a life. If you can't get a life that is not talking about Lisa or Meredith, I need you to exit stage left and get off of the show. Because as much as I love Lisa and Meredith, I also want to love other women on the show. I also want to be invested in other women's journeys and what they got going on. You know what I mean? We have Bronwyn over here. I cannot stand her baby voice. Like I can't. So you have more questions about Todd. So Todd and I are separated. It's Lisa's fault. I can't. I cannot. I can't do Bronwyn's baby voice. We have Bronwyn over here who turns out to be, a person who has this criminal past. She's talking about being a swinger and opening her marriage up with her husband one day. And then the next, you better not say Todd's name. I never said that. She's lying on people. She's gaslighting Meredith. She was telling Meredith all this stuff. But then when she went to the lunch with Whitney and Mary, threw Meredith under the bus, talking about she saw Seth, Meredith's husband, cheating on her, which turned out he wasn't. So instead of going to her friend Meredith and be like, hey, listen, I said this at this lunch. I just want to, hold my hands up and say, yeah, I was talking crap about you. And I talked about your husband too. She gets angry at Meredith, which is manipulation 101. Meredith, you've been saying all these things. You've been throwing me under the bus. You take what I say and you turn it around and blah, 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 blah. And now you have nothing to say with your legalese and da-da-da-da-da-da. When the truth was, the only reason why Bronwyn had all that smoke was for Meredith was because she was about to be exposed for lying on her husband and talking about her marriage when I thought husbands were off limits. That is manipulation 101. I did something wrong to you, but instead of taking accountability for what I did to you, I'm going to make you the bad guy and I'm going to become the victim. And that's exactly what she did. And it was very, very manipulative. Very manipulative. So yeah, you got Bronwyn over there. And I'm not invested in Bronwyn. I don't care. Because I don't think anything she's giving us is real. This whole costumes to meet her husband is really weird and bizarre. The dog poo, but no furniture in her house is really bizarre. Her husband living across the country is really bizarre. Lying about buying a necklace is really bizarre. Just everything about Bronwyn to me is fraudulent and it's not adding up and it's just really weird and I'm just not invested in her. We have Heather over here who has no storyline. I give -0 F's about a 20-year-old mattress. Her whole storyline was about a 20-year-old mattress that she was chucking and that she doesn't like her children. She's ready for her children to get out the house. She was ready for her children to leave when they came for the holidays. Girl, what? I'm sure there's a lot more going on in her life, but she doesn't talk about it. What is one thing about Heather that we have learned new this season about her life? Nothing. Who cares that you bought a new mattress? What else is going on? You're always thirsty as hell when it comes to men. So going after Captain Jack or Captain John or whoever the hell he was, that was nothing new. But are you dating? Are you not dating? What's going on? How is Beauty Lab? Any more lawsuits when it comes to that? What is going on in Heather's life? We don't know anything about Heather's private life. Nothing. Because all she does is deflect and deflect and deflect and project. She has no storyline other than hating Lisa and Meredith. That's it. And when she threatened Meredith, this part 2, that was so disgusting. Oh, you better buckle up. Oh, da, 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 da. And then Lisa's like, is that a threat? And she was like, yeah, you're blah, blah. Who are you, Heather? But this is the real Heather. Shut the F up. F you. You were screeching at Meredith for the last 2 months because you're mad that she's playing the position in Lisa's life that you so desperately want to play. Like, you would drink Lisa's bathwater if she let you. Like, that's how psycho obsessed you are. And it's really sick to watch. Really sick. But tell me one thing about Heather. I'll wait. Not a damn thing. And then we have Angie over here. Don't get me started on Angie. Again, Angie, being Greek is not a personality type. It's enough with it. Even your daughter was like, Mom, bye. Like, enough. We didn't see her husband at all. Again, we didn't see really didn't see the husbands a lot this season at all anyway. Like, all of their husbands and stuff. But what's going on with Angie? Other than being Greek, other than being jealous of Lisa, what's going on with Angie's life? She says she has franchises and all this stuff. Well, like, let's see it. What's going on in her life? Everything about Angie is only about her being Greek, her love for her dad, and going after Lisa Barlow. I mean, even Mary, who I don't like, called out Angie, even though they're supposed to be BFFs, and called Angie the bully. Because Angie is a bully. She's very similar to Heather. They play like, oh, I'm such a good friend. I'm so loyal. You know, everyone bullies me. I'm just responding. No, you're actually the bully. You're actually the problem because you're so obsessed with everybody else's life. What does Angie have going on? Nothing. And I don't think she's that funny, personally. Brittany. Again, I think something is very dark with Brittany. I think her and the whole Jared storyline is played out. I think she's jealous of her daughters because they get the attention from her ex-husband that she wished she got. I think that she is just, I don't know, there's something very dark about Brittany. I'm tired of her. I think she drank her own Kool-Aid, and I think she thinks she's in a Lifetime movie playing the part of Brittany instead of actually being herself. It's bizarre. It's weird. Her standing up at the end and shaking and being like, I can't believe this. You guys are ganging up on me. I am not that. That is the most horrible thing to do. Like, girl. And chef's kiss to Meredith. Meredith needs to, first of all, I love that she's a DJ. Like, go girl. I want her and Kyle Cook to do like a DJ set together. That would be everything. Anyway, Meredith literally should teach a master class in commanding a conversation. Because the way Meredith commanded part 1 and part 2 was absolutely beautiful to watch, especially if you're a person who likes language, you like psychology. She is a master. Because when Andy was like, well, did you have a drink before the plane ride? Which, by the way, who cares? They're all, oh, we're going to get to that too. They all drink, whatever. She goes, well, you know, before we get to that, I actually want to talk about the real reason why I have an issue with Brittany. And then she brings up the whole nail technician and, you know, all the anti blah, blah, blah stuff. I'm not going to say it on my channel. You guys get it. And that was a master class of, I'm actually going to be the master of this conversation. I'm going to steer it. I'm not going to answer what I don't want to answer, but I'm going to put the spotlight back on Brittany. And now it's going to be Brittany's turn. And the moment she did that, Brittany exploded, had this whole acting thing. Oh, I'm so mad. And like, girl, bye. First of all, I don't know about Brittany's isms, anti-isms. I don't know. Would I put it past her? No, but I don't know. So I'm not going to put that on her either. But I do think it goes to the fact of the inherent weirdness and jealousy that these women have with Lisa and Meredith. Because if I am actively beefing with someone, the way Brittany and Meredith beef with each other, right? If I'm actively beefing with someone and anybody on their team contacts me, I'm not going to do it. If somebody like, why are you saying yes to the nail technician that does Meredith nails if you actively beef with her? If you know what I mean? Like, if I'm beefing with a girl and their hairstylist says, hey, Candy, the girl you are beefing with, I do her hair. You want me to come over to your house and do your hair? Hell no. Why would you say yes to that unless you secretly want to be that person, you want information on that person, you're jealous of that person, and that's the root cause of your beef? Because there's no way I'm letting anybody who's on somebody's team give me food, do my hair, do my nails, do my styling that I'm actively beefing with. It's different if it's a friend, like, hey girl, I have this great stylist, you want to borrow? Of course. You don't do that. It's all weird to me, all weird. And Brittany's overreaction, great performance, but leave that for Lifetime, not for Bravo. Okay, babe? There you go. Okay, we talked about the leak accusations, where, in my opinion, the source is clearly Heather. Everyone's pretty much said it. It's pretty much out there. In my opinion, I think Heather is the leak. I think she's been the leak since day one. I think she's been leaking stuff about Jen and about Meredith and Lisa and blah, 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 because nothing has really been leaked about Heather. You know what I mean? Or anybody who has never been on Heather's bad side. Like Angie. Stuff about Angie, that's all kind of like, duh, common sense. You know what I mean? I think it's Heather. I think she's the leak and she deflects on everybody else. And like Lisa said, who made Heather the judge and the jury for the entire group? She's not the voice of the audience, by any means. And she's not a producer as much as she tries to be, but clearly she feels so comfortable in her position, or her mask has just fallen off so long that she can't hold back the snake that she truly is, that she felt so comfortable to threaten Meredith to her face in front of everybody at that reunion. I think Heather has gotten way too comfortable where she thinks she runs the show. I would love for Heather to be fired. Get off. Get off. Get off. Okay. All right. The other thing about the hypocrisy and jealousy. Let's talk about the drinking and the drug allegations of it all. So everybody wants to come after Meredith. Oh, she's drinking, she's popping pills, she's this, she's that. No, 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 no. This has always been Meredith's disposition. She's always talked like that. Even her sister has that same cadence and the same sort of like, almost like, sleepy, like, I can't do it, but like, like the rumor. Like, even her sister talks like that. That has always been Meredith. I don't see a big change in Meredith that they're trying to, like, push down our throats. Just because you say something 1,000 times doesn't make it true. I think there's more to talk. And again, this is another reason why Meredith should teach a master class and owning the conversation and steering the narrative. When she came out the gate of part one of the reunion, she goes, well, I have a question. And this will decide the trajectory of the rest of this. So, Whitney, at BravoCon, you said you wanted to clear the air. Go ahead. That automatically shined a light on how fraudulent and hypocritical Whitney is. Whitney tried to be like, I'm just a happy drunk. No, but the operative word is drunk. So you got yourself up at BravoCon. I didn't watch any of BravoCon. I just didn't care to. But she said herself, she's at BravoCon, blackout, slurring, wasted. They're worried she can't even get across the stage. Her husband has to carry her up to the stairs. When have we ever seen Meredith like that? We've never seen Meredith wasted to the point where she's blacked out and slurring her words and needs to be carried places. We've never seen Meredith like that. But yet this entire season, you want to project your problems onto her? When she brought those drug tests, everybody looked shook. Because they're all probably, allegedly, in my opinion, popping a pill or two. Who knows? Again, I'm not saying this is true because I don't know. I'm not with them. I'm not in their digestive system. So this is just an observation, an opinion. They all look shook because, hello, are you kidding me? And Whitney has always been kind of, slushy and sloppy and everything. And Heather, remember when she was on the bus puking because she drank so much? When have we ever seen that from Meredith? She got sick, but it wasn't from drinking or whatever. So it's just crazy to me how they want to harp on certain things to go after Meredith for, when the truth is they themselves are the ones who are doing it. Crazy. Okay. We talked about Heather always being the victim, claims she wants honesty, but she's a puppet master. Okay, Whitney, who has not talked this much this reunion, which honestly I like, because I'm not really a Whitney. I'm not a Whitney girl. I'm tired of Whitney and her healing journey. I would be totally fine if Whitney also got fired, because again, what is going on in Whitney's life? Oh, this is what I want to say about Whitney. Who actually believes, again, allegedly, in my opinion, her very fraudulent, bizarre, clearly a lie story about what happened to Wild Rose Beauty? Not me. Okay? Not me. First of all, this is what I think happened. I don't do white collar crime, so I might be getting the words and the terms wrong, but this is the essence. I think her husband got into some trouble, whether it's like debts or working with loan sharks or something, some financial something, or was doing something shady and they needed to clean some money laundering was going on, or, paying off people under the table, trying to make it legit for something else, because it doesn't make any sense. Like, why she was like, oh, he was doing some MLN thing and they bought Wild Rose, and then now I'm looking at the account and I see all this money going out to vendors. Like, what? Like, where is that money really going? And also, the original story was so suspect. Like, she liquidated their savings to rebrand Wild Rose Beauty, and it was like 100K or like something crazy. And like all this money to like, none of it, that even then, that didn't make sense to me. And Jen Shaw clocked it. She was like, well, why don't you talk about, Wild Rose, or talk about your husband's lawsuits? Remember, this was like season 2 or 3, maybe. Obviously, before Jen went to jail, she was talking about it because Whitney was like, I know about you. And she's like, yeah, well, how do you know so much about it? Because you're doing it too. None of it ever made sense to me. And I think that's why Whitney is so resentful towards her husband, is because I think he got into some financial jam and they had to use Wild Rose Beauty as the front, whether it's a tax front, whether it's a money laundering front, some type of front, in order to clean some money or to pay some people that they couldn't pay in a legal, clean way. That is what I really think happened. And they sacrificed Wild Rose Beauty for that. And also, Whitney, I don't believe you were talking to Sephora or Ulta, whoever you said. I don't believe that for not Nan second. Okay, babe? I don't believe it. And I think that's why she's so angry with him, because she had to take the L forward facing. Now she has to go, oh, it was a failure. It was, I went out and I failed and then blah, 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 because that's their cover story. That's a front. I don't believe for 1 second this whole MLM and blah, blah, blah. Knock it off. Knock it off. That just doesn't make any type of sense. I think it's a front for whatever they had, however they needed to move money. I think it's a front for however they had to move money. And she's pissed at him for putting her in that position and for her to now look stupid and like a business failure. That is what I think really happened, because none of it else makes sense. None of it makes sense. So let's talk about that. Like, why isn't she talking more about her business? She had one scene where she was like, I'm a failure. And that was it. But let's talk more about that. You want to talk about everybody else's business? You want to talk about everybody else's life? Talk more about yours. What's going on in your marriage? I mean, she basically said that they have an open marriage when she was talking to Bronwyn, that they go out and like she'll do what she wants to do and he'll do what he wants to do, and whatever the case may be. Talk more about that. I don't know. But honestly, don't, because I don't care. Like, again, I'm not invested in Whitney. Like, I don't care that you're doing money laundering through your fake skincare brand and your fake jewelry line. I don't care. It was actually more interesting when you were selling Alibaba jewelry. That was actually more of a kiki than whatever the hell you thought you were doing this season because you were just lame and boring. I don't want another second of Lisa, Meredith, 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 Meredith. I love them, but I love them for them because they're interesting. They're that girl. They have stuff going on. They're funny. They do big things. I love their friendship, you know? But the whole cast being obsessed with them and that's their only outlet. It's annoying, right? We talked about Angie because again, Angie didn't have anything going on this season other than being Greek. Going to Greek, wanting to become a Greek citizen, like enough. This isn't like the Real Housewives of Mykonos. Like it's the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Like what's going on in your life? Nothing. And I saw people being like, "Oh, like if it wasn't for Heather, then like Angie and Lisa could be friends again, but Heather's stopping it." No, I don't want Lisa to ever be friends with Angie again because it is very dangerous to be friends with someone who hates you and is jealous of you, but will smile in your face like they're not. And you can tell Angie has always been jealous of Lisa, the way she turned on her so quick, the way she talks about Lisa with vitriol in her voice, the way she looks at her, like, "Oh, Lisa, no, 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 no," like Lisa's being mean, like, grow up, like, stop, grow up. It's crazy. Okay, and last but not least, let's talk about Mary. Okay, this might be an unpopular opinion because I know we got some Mary stands out there. I think Mary is one of the biggest hypocrites of them all. She acts like she is so holy and is so above it all, and she just wants to come and impart some words of wisdom to make everybody else better when she is so nasty. I know some people like Mary's reads. I find them to be just mean and just very mean, very cutthroat, very evil spirited. Um, and like again, like Mary, she talks about her son, which is really sad and tragic. I don't have children. However, if I did, I can guarantee you if my child was in jail, I would visit them. And the fact that she said, "I'm good with it. I'm just going to give some tough love." And she was like, "No, like why would I go to the jail to visit him?" She was like, "Ugh," like it was like beneath her. And yet you claim to be a woman of Christ, you claim to be a woman of God, and you think you're too good to visit your child in prison or jail? That shows you the true character and somebody's true heart. You know what I mean? You don't visit your child in jail. That to me told me everything I needed about Mary. I already believe she was a cult leader. I already believe, and I agree with what her sister said. I do think money is her king. I think she's a hoarder. We've seen her house, and this is not to judge people with money. I don't, you have money, that's wonderful and great. However, I think that if you want to pretend to play this position of person of God, person of Christ, blah, 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 and you have all of these bags and clothes and jets and this and that, and then you have people in your congregation who are suffering, that to me is a problem. And the problem isn't having money. The problem is if you are in a position to help your congregation, you should be helping your congregation rather than trying to milk your congregation for their money, for their mortgages on their house, and all of that. To me, that's messed up. That's the other way around. People should go to church to receive help. And the people who are in good positions and they choose to give to, a place of worship or whatever the case may be, fine. Spend your money how you want to spend it. But to me, that's really scary and gross. And then also, um, again, her poor son, they were talking about Robert Sr., like, where is he and all this? And she's like, "Oh, well, he kind of talked to him the other day and he's going to send him some books." He's not going to bring him books. He's not, again, like, and you wonder, and you can't blame someone's addiction on other people because, of course, we have to take responsibility for ourselves, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. However, there are extenuating circumstances that can explain why a person may turn to drugs or alcohol. Again, it's not to blame anybody for anybody's addiction because it's nobody else's fault, but other people can contribute to why people turn to that. And again, Robert Sr., his father, also a person of the church or whatever the case may be, isn't going to see his son in jail? Just going to leave him there to rot? Now, to me, this is different from when Apollo, like I'm taking it back. Taking it back. This is Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, when Apollo was in jail, I agreed with Phaedra that she did not want to bring her children to jail to see their father incarcerated because of the trauma that would happen to her children. I actually agreed 100% with Phaedra on that. You don't put a child in that position to be traumatized by seeing their father in jail. That's my personal opinion. I agree with Phaedra on that one 100%. However, when you are the parent, when you are the adult, and I don't care if your children are adults. Again, also it goes into why they are in jail, obviously. It could depend on why people are in jail, but he's in jail because he does drugs and was having a tumultuous relationship with his wife who got him in the drug. Like, go see your kid in jail. But yet you want to sit up here on this Bravo couch in your multi-thousand-dollar gown in all of your glory, kissing Andy's butt, talking crap to Lisa, saying you want to be the moral voice of the show, but yet you haven't gone to see your own child in jail? And you expect me to take you seriously, Mary? Look in the mirror. You want to call Lisa dark? You're dark. We've seen the clips of you berating your congregation to give you money. We see the clips of you laughing and giggling, talking about your God, and you're the conduit to God. No, you're not. You are a weirdo, complete weirdo, fraud. Point blank, period. And you are only taking these people to hell because God did not choose you to bring anyone to heaven, sweetheart. Not the way you're acting. And I do not like Brittany, but she was spot on when she said you are the least Christ-like person I know. And that really grinds my gears when people use God and the Bible and the Christ as a shield, as a buffer, so that no one can ever hold them accountable or say anything to them. I think that's a big reason why Lisa doesn't go as in on Mary as she wants to. A lot of that has to do with Mary being cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, the cult stuff, the people dying stuff, the hiding behind God stuff. You know what I mean? Mary is evil to me. Evil. You exalt yourself over God, you're going to get your payback one way or another, this life or the next, girl. Evil. She's dark and she's a weirdo. Okay? Brittany, dark and a weirdo. I think that was all I had, you guys. I think that was all my notes. Yeah, I think that was it. So that's kind of how I felt. And I'm going to drop the link in the chat in case anybody wants to come up. Again, no pressure. Only come up if you want to. But yeah, those were kind of my thoughts from this season. I want to know what you guys think. Let me know. All right, so let's go up to your comments and see what's going on. All right. Hey, Miss T. She goes, oh my God, hello, Candy. I know I was gone for a minute and I've learned not to make promises about when I can go live. So I'm just going to jump on when I can, which is why, you guys, if you have subscribed, you should. That way you get notified, hit the notification bell. So when I do go live, you can come and join. I've missed you guys so much. I missed you too, Miss T. I missed you too. Hey, Act 1, the John. Mwah! I missed you too. I hope I pronounced your new screen name correctly, but I missed you too, sweetheart. Yes, Akwan the John. Yes, yes, yes. Good to see you. He says, missed you. I missed you too so much. Yay, Misty says, hello and welcome to the show. That's right. Welcome to the show, everybody. What is up? All right, let's see here. Hey, Tay says, hi, Candy. Where have you been? You know what? I've been in the cut. I just took some time to chill and rejuvenate. And so I'm going to go live as much as I can. So yeah, I'm going to try to do as much as I can. But yeah, so I'm here. Hey, you want to share?
Hey, Candy, I miss you, friend.
I miss you too. I know I've been MIA. I know it, but we back. Sound off, sound off.
All right, hold on. Someone called me. Okay.
Okay,
All right. So I have a lot to say.
okay.
Okay. So
Well, then
first
wait, then
things.
wait, then wait 1 second. I'm gonna try and get through the comments, and then I want you to sound off for as long as you want to go. Is that a deal?
Yeah.
Okay. So then, hey, Tay Tay. Tay Tay says, these girls have Lisa derangement syndrome, 100%. He says, did you watch the Mary documentary? I didn't watch it because you know what? I already know. I'm already sold. Like, you don't exalt yourself over God. You don't exalt anything or anyone. You don't replace God. You don't exalt over God. No, I already know. Miss T says, the husbands wouldn't help the reunion. True, 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 true. She goes, this season was weak because this reunion was all over the place. Agreed. Agreed. Hey, Adam says, hey, Candy. Hey, everyone. Ooh, what's your new name? At Dispiral. If I'm pronouncing that correctly, I probably slaughtered that. I am so sorry. Tay Tay said, F bad weather. Agreed. Agreed. Ms. T says Heather is so jealous. Lisa, 100%. She would skin her, wear her skin, and drink her bath water. It's so sick and gross. Okay, Heather Gay wanted to be number one and it backfired. Exactly, Tay Tay. Hey, Adam. Adam says Whitney has been on 6 seasons too long. It's a shame about Heather because I like it when Lisa and her got along, but the way Heather goes after Lisa is beyond. Agreed, 100%. Miss Freeboard 101 says, I liked Heather in past seasons, but dang, she fell from grace. Agreed. To be honest with you, I never liked Heather from day one jump. But I do agree with you because the people who did like her and were like into her now have jumped ship given the way she's been acting and how creepy she is. So, yes, yes, yes. Okay. Adam says Bronwyn is a mad one. She likes to play the fake naive card. Exactly. And I cannot stand her baby voice. Oh, Lisa. Like, stop. That's right, you guys. Hit the like button. Thank you, Miss T. Adam says 100%. Oh, he says, I want to like Bronwyn, but she chose the wrong side. Exactly. And Miss T says Seth. Yes, Seth. I always get Meredith's husband's name wrong. I'm always like, Sean, Seth, I don't know. Okay, Miss T says the ladies' stories have changed since the beginning, I think. Changed since the beginning, maybe? Miss Freebird 101 says Heather gaslights herself. She's delusional, thinking she's the boss of the group. Thinks she's a good friend. LOL. She thought she got with Captain Jason. Thank you, because she did. She was like, oh, we effed around. Girl, we knew what you were trying to say. You did not. He doesn't want you. Like, stop being a pick me. Girl, bye. Miss T says Bronwyn is always the victim. Exactly. Not surprised about her divorce news either. No, totally. Todd was tired. He's like, you're dragging my name through the mud. You're coming out with all these lawsuits. I'm over it. This Heather Captain Jason stuff was gross. Agreed, Tay Tay. Miss T says Heather wrote another book and lied. Nothing new. That part. Adam says, I don't understand why Shed Media wants Angie to be the MVP. She shouldn't be in the center of the cast photo. Lisa Barlow is the MVP. Exactly. Tay Tay says Gretchen Rossi did the same thing at the finale. Yup. Miss T says Brittany needs to stop it. Agreed. Meredith the lawyer was full effect, 100% redirected. I was like, I need, like, literally, Meredith, if you ever watch this, do a masterclass. I will watch it. I will promote it because I need you to do a masterclass in, like, just completely doing the narrative, redirecting, and so like flawless with it. Hey, Freddie! Relly Diamond says Brittany needs to save her acting for a pantomime. Heather is jealous of Lisa and Meredith. Exactly. Miss T says the whole family talks in vocal fry. The whole Meredith Marks family talks in vocal fry. Even her children. It's crazy. Miss T says not sure what the story was. Exactly. Brady says, does anyone trust Whitney and Granddad Rose's business acumen? Exactly. Get rich quick, says Mrs. T. Yep. Tay Tay says, apparently Whitney is drinking her sorrows down. Exactly. Okay, we do have more comments, but I want Juwan to go. If am I saying it right? Quan Juwan, correct me. But I want you to go and sound off.
Yeah, it's kind of like John, like so it's like Johnny.
Oh, Johnny.
Yeah. But okay, so I'm gonna go through the cast. Lisa, love her down, been my fave since day one. Um, I feel like this season really showed that everybody truly does not like her as they hate her, but they wants to be her friend. So I said that since day one. She has a confidence that none of the other women have, and that's just that. And I will also say, like, I'm happy Lisa, because I was one of the ones last season. I was like, I'm happy she's finally cussing these women out because before I felt like she was like she tried to be nice and sympathetic, and then she cussed them out. But I do like this demure Lisa not giving them what they want. But I will say this, and it might be just me. I do want her to give Mary a good cussing out because I feel like everybody is scared of her, and I feel like Lisa is not scared of her, but I feel like she's just trying to treat Mary the same way as she treat everybody else. But you have to treat Mary how she treats you, and she is nasty. So I think one good little cussing out from Lisa to Mary was have me satisfied, and then she can go back to being demure. Um, Secondly, when it comes to Whitney and Heather, one of them has to go. Like how they did Giselle and Robin and Potomac, one of them has to go. I feel like they're ruining this franchise with them colluding and bringing up stuff that, like, just accusing people of stuff. And it's like every time they get together, they just make up stuff to have a moment. And we don't need two of those on the show. So I would rather have Heather than Whitney. But my thing is, because I feel like Whitney doesn't bring anything to the show, but also I feel like Heather is way more dangerous than Whitney. Um, so if I could get rid of both, I would. But I feel like one would be enough. Angie, she disappointed me this season. I did like her last season, but once you jump on the hating Lisa train, because I don't even understand why she hates Lisa so much when I feel like they're kind of in the same boat, but it just gives like she's in like a one-sided competition with her, and I don't. That's is I don't know. I just think that's kind of a miss for me when it comes to Angie. Um, Let me go to Mary. Mary, uh, I don't have nothing to say about Mary. Mary just like her tagline. She's just gonna be eat, drink, and be merry. I guess. Um, I just wish she would stop. Like, I just feel like I wish people would stop making it seem like her word is Bible on this show because she's not right all the time. Yes, she's unbiased, and that's a good trait to have, but that don't mean she is right all the time. Bronwyn, she's fake, she's phony, she's two-faced, she's everything, all that and above. She talks about people's marriages, but no want nobody to talk about hers. She Oh, key point. I noticed that Bronwyn and Meredith was really close this season. And the way Bronwyn turned on Meredith was kind of crazy to me because they was the same people who threw Britney's stuff in the yacht. They was the same ones when they was talking to each other. She the one who ratted Brittany out about Meredith having seizures. Um, she ratted Whitney out to tell Meredith about the drinking stuff. So, and mind you, I remember in the beginning of the season, Todd actually liked Meredith, and they was talking about their family situation as well with their mom, with Bronwyn's mother, and all that other stuff. So after she turned on Meredith at the end, when she was talking mess about Meredith, you know, she said like she saw Seth out cheating when it was her husband cheating and farting. I just don't think like Bronwyn, she just lost me this whole season, and I just like I didn't like her. I don't even gonna say I like her or dislike her. I just feel like to like right now I really don't like her. And one thing about Meredith, I do like her. I just wish that like, and maybe it's because it's this group of women, but I wish that she would. The semantics game works against her in this group. Um, yes, she's a wordsmith. Yes, I do. She's a wordsmith. Yes, but everything she does say does come off as deflecting, and I feel like I knew that was gonna happen because I think she does it like every season. But um, I wish she would like find another route because it's not working, and I think it's. I feel like this is starting to become an unsafe work environment for Meredith. And last and definitely the least is Brittany. um, I would say I want to hear your thoughts. I'm one of the crowd that thinks that she has marbles as brains, but I think that I do think she was kind of bullied this season, but I do think that she put a lot of stuff on herself, if that makes sense. Um, like I said, but I feel like the reason why I feel like she's bullied because I feel like it's a cool thing to do. I think Angie bullied her. I think Bronwyn bullied her. I think Meredith generally don't like her. They just use Meredith as a scapegoat. But I think like since Meredith don't like her, everybody else jump on the bully Britney train, and she lacks self awareness. But I want to see your like I want you to expound upon your thoughts of her being like more malicious and calculated because I do agree with the whole her being jealous of her daughter's thing because when her daughter I did not expect her daughter to come on the show and
Mm-hmm.
the emotional intelligence that came from her daughter was insane.
Yeah, I agree. The reason why, and I fell for Britney's act myself in the beginning because I think that Britney puts on this front where she wants you to think she's sort of this hapless, ditzy, marble brain person and everything's just happening to her and everyone just piles onto her. But if you think about it, she's gotten out there and she says a lot of slick stuff about a lot of people like the TikTok and Angie's a slut and like everything else. And, she got to be a friend on the show for a reason. I think her and Jared are in cahoots with their whole pretending to be on and off again. I think that's how they are, but I also think they got together and decided that was going to be their whole shtick. You know what I mean? For the show. I think they're both in on that. I just think that Brittany is much more malicious and calculating than she puts out to be, but the women don't take Britney seriously. Like, because on top of that, Brittany also acts like a pick me. She's also very, very thirsty to be chosen, not just by men, but by these women. She's up everybody's butt until they have a falling out, and then she's against them and they're bullying her. So I think what makes Brittany kind of so dangerous is that you don't take her that seriously, but I do think she has her own agenda and she does get little slick stuff out there. Like the whole like, oh, I do maybe I have more like if you watch the Watch What Happens live clip where Andy's like, "Oh, do you have more than just like some random TikTok,
Yeah.
proof that Seth is cheating on Meredith?" And she's like, "Maybe, like I could." You know what I mean? Like that's a very dangerous thing to say about somebody's marriage. When clearly she didn't have anything because she's like, "Well, this evidence would hold up in court," and all of it was just like her blaming everything on what Jared told her. When Jared is out there sleeping with anything that breathes and won't claim this woman to save his own life, like, are you kidding me right now? Like, Jared is the person who you're saying, like, is the proof. Like, come on. And like, what an easy cop out. Unless you saw it with your own eyes. I don't even believe videos at this point anymore with like AI and every tech out there. It's hard to believe. I need someone who saw it physically with their self and they were in the room, like something like that, to go out here and try to speak on somebody's marriage. When I thought marriages and husbands were off limits, right? But you see how slick she is. That's a very dangerous person because now it's out there that she has this sort of, proof that Seth was cheating on Meredith when it turns out it was a nothing burger. But she'll act all dumb, like, I don't know, like everybody's being mean to me, and like standing up and screaming, like doing the absolute most at the reunion. Like, girl, sit down. Like, unless you're guilty, why are you doing all this stuff? Do I think she doesn't, the anti S word? I don't know. I'm not going to put that on her because I haven't seen her do any of that. But do I think she was being slick with trying to get in with Meredith's nail titian? Do I think that when she found out she was being slick because she knew it hurt Meredith? Yeah, I do. I do think she was being slick and slimy about it. Because when you go back and watch part 2, when Meredith was retelling the story about how when she went to go talk to Brittany about the whole nail technician review anti-S situation going on, how Brittany got mad at her and was turning it around and was acting like the victim and all this stuff. Brittany was sitting there like, yeah, like, like agreeing along with the story and didn't interject. That's how, that's how you know someone who's telling the story is telling the truth, because Brittany was just like agreeing with her. So, but then all of a sudden she flipped and got all mad all of a sudden about Meredith and jumping all around. So how do you sit there and agree with the fact that you were playing victim and crying and going off on Meredith because you were in cahoots with a person who is anti-S, but then all of a sudden you want to flip around and call yourself the victim and saying everybody's bullying you because they're calling you out for your alleged support of someone who is hateful? Do you see what I mean? And then that's why all the women are just sitting there like, okay, are you done? Like, good performance, because nobody takes Brittany seriously, because none of them feel threatened by Brittany. If they like, if for example, if Lisa acted the way Brittany did, they would be all over Lisa. They'd be jumping on her like da 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 da, because they feel threatened by Lisa and they take Lisa seriously. But nobody feels threatened by Brittany and nobody takes her seriously. But Brittany has shown time and time again she's a snake. Recording the women, that was bizarre. Why was she recording them? I don't care if they're on a reality TV show. It's one thing for production to do their job and record you. It is another thing for my coworker to record me without my permission. And I'm surprised the women weren't more upset. I was with Meredith. Like, you're recording us, you can leave. That is psycho behavior. But Brittany just goes, oh, I don't know, and she cries and does her little shtick, and people just disregard her because it's Brittany and she has, marbles for brains and nobody took her seriously. But why was she recording them? Multiple times. She recorded Meredith when Meredith was in her room. She recorded the girls on the bus, and who knows when else she did this. For what? You want footage? X production. You're on a reality TV show. Why are you recording these women? For what? To what end? And that is why I think Brittany is way more dark and dangerous and calculating. But she puts on this sort of like the Dutzy act. But I'm on to you, Brit. I'm on to you. That's kind of how I feel. But great points, and I missed you.
Yeah, thank you for your input. I just wanted to ask that. I'm gonna say you can go to Adam next, but I just want to have one question that you can answer. How you felt about Bronwyn and Meredith relationship of it all too? Have you noticed that too?
Yes, I felt that like Bronwyn and Meredith were sort of that they were friends. They were on good terms. They were talking. Bronwyn was, carrying bones back to Meredith, and Meredith was using those bones very strategically. They seemed to have like a good, relationship. There was no beef, no tension between them. The reason why I think that Bronwyn flipped on her was because Bronwyn is two-faced as hell. It's like when they said the Greek party, Bronwyn, you don't have two faces, you have no face. Bronwyn is nobody's friend. And she's a liar and she's a fraud and she's two-faced as hell. And the reason why she flipped on Meredith was because she went to that lunch with Whitney and Mary, the two fraud, drunk cult leaders and all that, whatever you want to call them. With Whitney and Mary, and lied and said that she saw Seth on a date in New York City. Todd later debunked that. Meredith sent the screenshots. Todd was like, no, there were like 4 men at the dinner. It was clearly a business dinner. It wasn't a date, So the reason why Bronwyn flipped on Meredith was to save her own skin because she was two-faced as hell. So you're being friends with Meredith. You're, kikiing with her. You guys are having off-camera conversations, getting on the same page. You're telling her good information. But then when you get on camera around the other girls, you want to speak on her marriage and speak on her husband. And so, like I said before, It's manipulation 101. I did you dirty. But instead of taking accountability and saying, hey, girl, I know we've been cool. I went out of pocket and I said this about your husband and your marriage, and I'm so, so sorry. Can you forgive me? I didn't mean it, whatever the case may be. Instead of being an adult and taking responsibility for what she did, she flips it. Now, all of a sudden, she takes Meredith aside. You're taking everything I say and you're using me and you're twisting everything. And I tell you stuff and you go back to the group and blah, 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 blah. You don't have any legalese to say now. And you're blah, 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 because she doesn't want to be called out for her bad behavior. So she has to now make Meredith the bad guy. I did you dirty because of you. You're the bad person. I'm mad at you. When the truth is, no, you did her dirty because you're a horrible person. You're nobody's friend. You're fake, you're fraudulent, and you're two-faced. I see through Bronwyn like I see through her so clearly. That was all performative. Her being mad at Meredith was all performative. She had no problem chatting with Meredith. Texting her at 2:00 in the morning, telling her what's going on. The reason why she flipped on her was when Meredith was like, hey, what did you guys talk about at the lunch? And she didn't want to say, I told them that your husband was cheating on you in New York. They said you're a drunk and a pill popper. And we all sat around eating a salad and rosé and crying about how worried we are about you. She didn't want to tell the truth because their worry and concern is BS. They're not worried and concerned about Meredith. They are projecting and deflecting because they don't want to talk about what's going on in their closet. They don't talk about how many pills they pop, how many shots they take, how much debt they are in, what's really going on in their marriages. Mary wants to talk about other people. Can we talk about Robert Sr.? When was the last time she saw him? That's not a marriage. Please. When he was on the show, he looked like he couldn't stand her. During the pandemic, remember he left and went to Florida and left her and she started talking to herself? Or at least continued to talk to herself in the house because she was all by herself. Her husband left her. If my husband left me during the pandemic, he would no longer be my husband. Could you imagine? So that is what happened between Bronwyn and Meredith. I think that they did have like a good like little friendship going on. Bronwyn probably needed more allies. Meredith probably wanted more allies, but Bronwyn did not want to be honest about how two-faced she was because that was when their friendship broke. And then all of a sudden, Bronwyn had a problem with Meredith. But prior to that, they were fine. They were kumbayaing. I just think Bronwyn is nobody's friend, and she's fake and fraudulent.
Honestly, yeah, you ate that. I'm about to head on out so we can get to Adam.
So good
Um,
to talk to you and to see you. And I'm gonna go live
hopefully
more.
I see more of you on
Yes,
Potomac or any other franchise if you're doing them. Hopefully I see you because
we'll
I'm
do
gonna be
Potomac
there.
because I've been watching that now. I took a big Bravo break for a
Okay,
few months, but I'm
and
catching up now.
yeah, that's good. I can't wait to see your reaction to well, I call it boring heels right now, but Miss Amanda, I can't wait to see
Listen,
everything. Uh, but I'm about to head on now. It was
okay,
fun seeing you again.
you
And last thing
too.
I'm going to say is Lisa Barlow got the spinoff, Heather didn't, and
That
she's
part.
on the 20-year anniversary of Housewives, and she is the face of Salt Lake City, and that's
Yes,
just
she
that.
is. And that's on period.
You have a good night.
You too. Mwah. So Lexi says Britt is cunning. They don't treat her well, but she's very sneaky. She admitted that she didn't have Murr's best interest at heart when she announced that Murr's husband was cheating. Exactly. Exactly. Adam!
Hi, Candy. How are you?
Hello, my love. How are you? Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all the
Happy
things.
belated New Year and long time.
I
But I'm
know.
glad
Happy
you're back.
Christmas.
I'm glad you're back.
Yes, 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 yes. I'm not making any promises. I learned my lesson.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yes.
gonna go live
Take your
as
time.
much
It's
as I
cool.
can.
It's
Yeah.
cool. I
Doing the best I
yeah.
can.
Yeah, I didn't realize I had a different name on the YouTube algorithm. They've like done it by like you set your username when you were like instead of like your display name now. I was like, what?
Oh
What was that?
wow.
That must have been like some thing I did when I was like 12. I didn't know. But but um but but Yeah, with this show, I don't actually kind of know what the production company's end goal is because I don't know if it's the same thing for different shows, but that the producer on Beverly Hills, that guy Alex Baskin, and he said that for Orange County and for Beverly Hills, whoever is positioned closest to the center is who is best in productions, good books or something. And I was thinking, like, everyone knows that Lisa is the MVP. Why are you trying to force Angie onto us like you think she is better than Lisa Barlow? Like, it makes no sense to me. So it's kind of like Bravo clearly values Lisa the most because she's, as Johnny's pointed out, is on the Ultimate Girls Trip 20th anniversary. But for some reason, it's like the production company wants it to be Angie. It's, it's kind of weird.
I bet you they used Angie as like a mole and like a producer puppet. Do you know what I mean? I bet you
Yes.
they like use her in that capacity, almost like the way they use like Ashley Darby. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like just like an annoying person who's willing to do their bidding and to set things up the way they want to. And so they reward her by putting her in the center. But like even now, clearly she was like third on the seat for the reunion. Like she's not
Yes.
center, like by any means. Honestly, it should be Lisa and Meredith. You know, Lisa here, maybe Meredith here. Because all of
Yeah.
part one was Lisa, all of part two was Meredith. I mean, part three is probably going to be like a jumble of the both.
To me, I think, quite frankly, there needs to be some revamp with season 7. Like, half of these people, your time is over. I mean, Grandad Rose's wife, your 6 seasons too much. Like, no one asked you to even be on this show in the first place. And I wanted to like Bronwyn because I thought, this cast member had potential, but this season she kind of wanted to play both sides, and then just it got confusing. So, quite frankly, other than Lisa and Meredith, I don't like the cast. I like the show because of Lisa Barlow and Meredith, but I actually just don't like the rest of the cast. And it's kind of like that with a lot of shows right now. Like, back, like, for example, like with like when we first like was introduced to this show, like, everyone other than Whitney was kind of feel like, okay, interesting, bit strange. Imagine your grandfather, but we'll give this a shot. But the synergy um, is still there in the sense that everyone knows one another via Lisa, because Lisa Barlow is the reason why this show's even on the air, because she's. But like, I think with Salt Lake City, yeah, I think if I had to get rid of 2 of those 8 women that you've got on display, it would be both the bottom corners, Grandad Rose's wife and Crybaby Brittany can go. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Heather, but when she actually is on some talkative level with Lisa Barlow, it's okay. This is decent, fair enough to watch. And Angie, I don't like her, but if I had to choose between her and Whitney, I'm unfortunately gonna choose her by default because Whitney is Whitney. Like, Whitney to me kind of is like the Taylor Armstrong. Like, in Beverly Hills, like, there was no one like Taylor Armstrong because half the time her story made no sense at all. And then, you know, people felt bad what was going through, but like this. Do you remember in Beverly Hills in season 2 there was that Tea Party attack where she just went crazy at Lisa Vanderpump? Like literally, like that's how I think about Britney every time I see her on my screen. I'm just like, this girl is just not a straight shooter. Like something's just not right here. Um, other than that, like, what would you say is which two would you get rid of if you had to revamp it?
Oh God, I would get rid of. Well, let's just say Brittany doesn't count because she's a friend. Let's just say Brittany's
Okay.
gone.
Okay.
I would really switch it up, and I would get rid of Bad Weather, Heather, and Whitney, and because I want to see what the other girls do without them there.
Hey,
Freddie!
how are you?
Good. How are
Good.
you?
I'm very well, thank you. It's so good to see you all.
You too.
Yes.
So good to see you guys. I'm gonna cry. I missed you guys.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah, I mean it's been an interesting one, this whole Salt Lake City. And yeah, I think the big issue with me is Britney. I'm just so over these fake tears. And then what I think's interesting is they acted she was so hysterical on the plane. What I thought was interesting is how Angie backstabbing ass had
I love
was
the backstabbing ass. I love it.
basically
It's
went on
such a good
and
name.
said that this was exactly how Britney was crying at the reunion as she was on the plane. I'm like, but you're crying out of nothing. I mean, seriously, if you are looking for attention, you are being desperate. And I mean,
Said DNA.
yeah, and then the other thing that I found hilarious this season was when Whitney, aka Grandad Rose's wife, had was completely mugged off by Heather when Heather said like how like what a shit person to like be wanting to record people doing something. But what's ironic is you've also done that, Heather, because back in 2023, you recorded Lisa Barlow being in a panic when she'd lost lost that ring when you went to Palm Springs. I think this is the thing with Heather is she thinks she's so smart driving the storylines, but if you're gonna lie, you've got to be good at remembering what lies you do and what information you're doing. Whereas, like, this is the thing. This is like where I like Stacey Roosh in Potomac. Yes, she's a liar, but at least she's sort of quite good at remembering things and how she does it. I think Heather's time's running out as well. I mean, what I heard with Ultimate Girls Trip is Heather and Whitney were not even considerations by Bravo. It was always, from my understanding, it was always between Mary Cosby and Lisa Barlow from the get go.
Well, that says it all.
The reason I hear Mary didn't do it was she was being a bit slow when it came to the negotiations because of her son being incarcerated, worried about trials and things like that. Bravo also, I think, had a number of concerns regarding of the optics around Mary Cosby based on the TLC documentary that's come out. So I think they felt that Lisa was a much safer bet in terms of someone who could actually commit to doing the filming, and that the optics around her are not complicated either.
Spot on, Freddie. It's so good to see you.
It's so great to see you.
You too.
And I love the background with all the lovely bags.
Thank you,
Yes.
darling. they're they're half mine, half my mom's that I stole from her.
Oh,
Don't
nice.
tell
I
anyone.
mean, fair play. I mean, fair play.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I know it's going off topic a bit, but Candy, I did send you the Ladies of London trailer.
I'm so excited. Mark Francis, get out of here.
I'm happy for Mark Francis being there, but the fact that he's a cast member, it defeats the name of it being called Ladies of London. People, I mean, I've already had people saying, like, why is there a guy in a show that's Ladies of London when it's sort of about housewives? Why is it ladies and the guy? Why have Bravo done this? I mean, I know Watch What Happens Live, I think, is going to be on today. No doubt Andy Cohen's going to be talking about it, assuming that he will be the executive producer of a Bravo Housewives show. So maybe he'll give us some clarity as to why they've decided to have a male in the main cast.
I agree.
It's very bizarre, but I think kind of like the strange thing is that we now like have this Real Housewives of London on Hey You, and apparently you still can't get it on Peacock your way. Apparently there's still issues, and I guess the only thing is to kind of distinguish if you're going to have two London shows, and it's just going to be two London shows with two groups of females. They had to say, like, differentiate yourself, and they chose this eccentric man to be part of it.
I feel that they've done that already, even if Mark Francis wasn't there. You have two actual aristocrats on the Ladies of London in Emma, who's the Marchioness.
Oh my god.
She's a Marchioness, yeah. Really interesting. She's friends with people like Liam Payne. She was friends with Liam Payne. She's friends with Kate Moss. She's friends with Edward Enninful of Vogue. She's got a lot of like big, sort of lots of very well-known celebrities she's friends with. She also appeared a couple of years ago on Strictly Come Dancing, which is the UK equivalent of Dancing with the Stars.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she, and then there's and then the other woman who's an aristocrat is Martha Sitwell, who's got a lady title. So I think that's where, because a lot of the Real Housewives of London, they're not aristocrats. They're just people who have married money or divorced and got a good settlement.
Yeah, I mean, it's not trying to be like woke, like, oh, Ladies of London, and let's have like a gay guy be a lady. You know what I mean? Like, it's too. I don't know. It just seems a little
bizarre.
Bizarre and weird. And like, I feel like they should have kept them all, an all-female cast. And of course, he could have been a part of the crew, or create a show that's like The Valley or Shaws of Sunset or Vanderpump Rules, where you have a mixed gender group naturally. But I do think it's kind of bizarre that it's Ladies of London, and I love Mark Francis and I want him to be on the show, but I was a bit taken aback that he was like a named person.
I mean, when I saw the rumors about a week or two ago, when they had sort of knew who this cast was, my understanding, I had assumed with Mark is, yeah, he's going to be on the show, but he was sort of going to be the gay best friend of Emma Weymouth. He would be, appearing on it quite regularly, maybe as much as a friend, but he would not be sort of in the cast photo type of thing. And I think the other thing is there are too many people for the first season. I know Adam says this, but I always like him believe that 7 is the magic number. And they seem to have like 8 or 9 different people on this show, which is just quite a lot.
Yeah, 8. I think it is too much because, like, in the UK, we have this Housewives of Cheshire, which is a bit of a mixed bag now, and this girl Missy was on that show, and now she's transforming, I guess, climbing up the ladder, because in Cheshire she was kind of just dismissed as kind of an extra. She wasn't.
Was she like a Janet?
No. No. This was
I'll let,
Miss A. She was married to a footballer. I think she was on as a housewife for like 1 or 2 seasons. Then she got divorced from this football player. So then wasn't living in Cheshire. So she came back as a friend or a guest or something like that. And then she got with this guy who was, I think his name's like Jake Hall or something. And he was like some reality star on this show called The Only Way is Essex. And then that was a whole weird thing.
yes.
I know her brother was like part of some like dodgy gang and he got like shot in the middle of a street last year, I think it was. So yeah, there's a lot of like interestingness to these people. Oh, and this Miss A girl's friends with Dawn Ward, who you like.
I love Dawn
Because
Ward.
they were on Real
The-
Housewives.
She's a messy bee, and I love her.
yeah. So because speaking of the ladies of London, though, I in the original show, my favorite scene was that Caroline Stanbury was pushing herself as the face of the show, and Caprice just was the American, so the Margot equivalent of now who's on the show, and when she kind of just pointed out to Caroline, let's do it at my place because you live far away. Because when Caroline Stanbury lived outside of London, it just ruined her whole credibility. And now it's going to be interesting because yes, the cast now seem as Freddie said to me earlier, a lot wealthier than what the original show portrayed. So it would be really interesting. But other than that, there is Beverly Hills, but
I'm so disappointed by
I'm
Beverly
really
Hills.
upset.
Agreed.
This was my favorite franchise,
It's
and this I would want to be kind and say I'll give it a B minus, but I can't even do that. This is F too. Like this is just like this is you've got literally no synergy, and you've got Dorit's minion and are no longer on good terms, which is the only interesting thing to me so far. Everything
do you
else,
read in Bose?
that's what it
Well,
looks like.
so there were rumors a couple of months ago, whilst it was filming, that they do have a bit of a brief fallout over Dorit getting close with Rachel Zoe.
Is Bose jealous because she's a weirdo?
Yeah, allegedly, and there was, and so I hadn't really thought of it much, but then Bose posted some like picture, like thanking all of these different like women on the show who were like supportive about something, and she didn't say anything about Dorit. And
You mean
you'd
Dorit?
think that considering they come across as so close, she like Dorit would be the first person on the list that she'd be, but she's not.
She
So
thanks Kathy, Kyle,
so it makes you
Erica, and
wonder,
Zoe,
is
not
this
her.
rumor true?
I mean, I hope it's true because I don't like either of them. I mean, I like
Literally,
Dorit more than I like Bose, so that's saying a lot. I think Bose to me is just so.
that says volumes.
This
That
is a
echoes.
lot. Like I would rather hang out with Dorit than I would Bose. Bose to me is just so weird and slimy, and like she's just such a pick me. Like she's so.
Yeah,
pick
and
me.
then the husband, boyfriend, fiance, whatever role he plays.
Nonsense. And like, girl, that's not IVF. That's Ozempic. You're not fooling anybody with those shots. Okay, boo boo. Like, stop. Like, stop. All right, girl.
You said it, not us, Candy.
Allegedly,
But-
for entertainment purposes only. Okay.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but with this season of Beverly Hills, Kyle is actually one of the more likable ones.
Thank you.
You've actually surprisingly
She's digestible this season.
and that's saying
So
a lot.
I sort of wonder whether they've deliberately not done casting changes just so they can make sure Kyle is more likable. Because people have hated her for the past few seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And like everyone's been saying, change it, change it, change it.
well, it's been like 6 seasons they've said that. Ever since the Lisa Vanderpump fallout when she went to her house, they've wanted Kyle gone from that day.
Bye, Kyle.
Literally, since that meme. So literally, Kyle. I actually, yeah. If I had to say which one I think is the best, I would say Erica, then Kyle, and that
But
says a lot.
yeah. I
I'll
mean,
never
for
give Erica
me,
that.
if I had
She's
to
on my
fire
team,
any of these,
traumatized. I hate her.
yeah,
I
I
can feel
wouldn't
it what
fire
you're
her
saying.
actually.
Hmm?
I
I
don't
like,
like Erica. Would I trust her with my money and my finances?
obviously, no, I'm
Definitely
joking.
not.
Obviously, yeah.
But do I think she brings a lot of needed entertainment? Yes. I mean, I'd be getting rid of people like Amanda, I'd be getting rid of Dorit
Mm-hmm.
and Bose before I got rid of Erica.
And
Yeah.
I think, quite frankly, she's not someone who wants to even be the most likable person, but Erica does deliver. If I had to pick out of all that cast, that is who it
I'll
would be,
take Jennifer
unfortunately.
Tilly. Even though she's a friend of, Jennifer to me is the best. I would do Jennifer then Kathy. I'd take the friends of, honestly.
The Friends of, they've been the most interesting bit of the season,
True.
which is really
Uh,
not good.
Sutton needs a. I can't with Sutton. Hey, Tay Tay.
Oh, hi, Candy.
Hi,
Hey.
Tay.
Hi, guys.
I missed you too. Hi.
Hi.
Sound off. Share your thoughts, baby girl. I mean, baby boy.
So, what are you guys talking about?
We're talking about Salt Lake City, Ladies of London, Beverly Hills. Talk about whatever you want, honestly. We're 2 hours in. Knock yourself out.
Alright, so let's talk about Salt Lake City. And
Okay.
like I said
Okay.
in the comments, like these girls have Lisa derangement syndrome, and it's pretty apparent all season long. Lisa Barlow, though she does have some flaws, has been consistent. As she defended Meredith, she has stood up to these clowns. Heather Whitney, like they're way too much. Like they're trying to like split Lisa and Meredith apart. Like they didn't work, and then when that did happen, they went after the marriages. They went after the surgeries, and when Lisa and Angie tried to like make up, like Heather Gay was not having it, and I genuinely believe that if it wasn't for Heather Gay, then Lisa and Angie would somewhat somewhat tolerate each other. Mary, I kind of like tolerate Mary. I mean, I did hear what you said about Mary and her like her in the cult of a church or whatever you call it.
I mean, there's no doubt, in my opinion, Tay, that she's got a. I mean, if you watch the TLC documentary, you if you live in America, it's definitely worth watching because I think there's a lot of evidence there that actually was out all online, and TLC are a bit late to the party in reporting.
Yeah, they were late, and I heard that they would take in some other people's content without asking.
Yeah.
Which is why I avoided that documentary. I also didn't watch Heather's either because that was a waste of time.
No, that didn't interest me. I mean, the Mary one interested me because that was like a documentary that actually sold it. But by the time I actually had time to even care about that, I couldn't see it on leaked anywhere by then. So I hear that it was a good watch, but I think there's no doubt that her hands are a bit with this. The documentary kind of speaks.
Yeah. Overall, I didn't watch the documentary because I thought it wasn't like worth my time. Overall, most of the television from last year was downright horrible. Not only on wrestling, but on Bravo as well.
I'm
The only bright spots this year was on Salt Lake City, Potomac, and Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Love Island wasn't even doing it for me at all.
1 second. Hi, Chocolate Chunks. I missed you. Hi.
And
Okay, go ahead.
can I say actually about Heather? I mean, who the hell was Heather to be pretending she doesn't know what Lux marketing does?
Thank you.
Because
Thank you.
there would be no Salt Lake City if it weren't for Lux marketing, just to clarify. Lisa
Exactly.
was doing an event at Sundance that was under the Lux marketing company, and that was where she first met Bravo execs, and she was able to pitch the concept of doing a show with Bravo, not necessarily Housewives, but with a group of women. She recommended all of these women and other women that didn't make it onto the show. So Bravo chose the cast, but Lisa recommended all the different people. And then they made this show and just then decided that they wanted to make it a Housewives show. So like, even if Heather doesn't know, like, why is she questioning it? You wouldn't have this job, you wouldn't have that house, you wouldn't have all the cars you own if it weren't for Lux marketing. So get back in your box and maybe open up more about your life. Like, why don't we see you going on all these dates? I mean,
why weren't we in Beauty Lab this season? You know, she wants to talk about how everybody
I
else
think
makes
she's
their
got
money.
a lot of issues with that Beauty Lab, in my personal opinion. Right, why, yeah, I mean, I'm going to say it, I'm sorry, but let's be honest, with the whole thing where she claimed she got punched in the eye, she had bruising around that face before it went wrong. I think it was caused by one of her injections. It was a dodgy injection that caused the swelling.
You think? Yeah. It sounds sketch, the whole story. I mean,
you only need to go and look back on that, and if you look at the reflection of her face, you can tell there's this underlying bruise that's there.
Yeah, one of my blogger friends believed that it was like some messed up Botox on Heather's face, which is one of the theories that caused the black eye. My theory, I've always believed that Jen Shaw, whether accidentally or incidentally, might hit her, whether they were playing or they might like legit punch her in the face, causing the black eye.
Oh, and the other thing, sorry, I wanted to clarify with you was, how was it the part 1 or part 2 where there was that video footage they shared of Lisa at BravoCon talking shit about Todd?
That was part 1.
Part
yeah.
1.
Part 1.
I didn't watch part 2 yet.
Well, what was interesting about that is I actually met this person who filmed that video at CreatorCon in Las Vegas. Yes. And I'll tell you what was interesting, because I saw she posted, I was like, I recognize that. But so she posted it 6 days ago. And this was the caption for this video of Lisa. She said, "Sometimes it pays to be the loud one who's willing to scream insane housewives quotes at them in public. They inadvertently might tell you stuff they shouldn't, that can help the other housewife out you like way more. It was wild. After yelling her quotes, I just mentioned the Watch What Happens live show to her that was the night before, and then she asked if we wanted to hear a story from it. She just couldn't help herself. Glad I got some receipts to help at Bronwyn Newport in the reunion." And the other interesting thing is, this person in question is followed by Heather. So I think that Bronwyn and Heather got this woman to do that, to try and catch Lisa Barlow out.
Bait Lisa.
They did it to catch, that was done to catch Lisa out.
They're so evil. They're so evil. And I don't believe that scroll OpenAI Photoshop nonsense. I don't believe that scroll for 1 second.
I mean, it came from Angie. It came from Angie, so that says it all. I mean,
look, with Angie, she needs to learn to be a bit more honest. I mean, from all the allegations I heard from a housewife,
yep,
Her husband doesn't even live with her. He
Angie's?
lives in an apartment in the city centre, allegedly.
Angie's?
I mean, like, if you look at their house, it's not like you really see any of his stuff anywhere, do you?
I said it from jump. I don't think Angie and her husband were like a in love couple. I think it was
They're friends and business partners and co-talents.
100%. Like, you're gonna do you, I'm gonna do me. We have these family obligations. We have this persona business we want to do. You want a kid, I want a kid, and it seems like what's her daughter's name? Alora.
Yeah, I think it's
Electra.
Electra, yeah.
Seems like she wants to live with her dad because she clowns Angie every time she can. You know what I mean? And she says she's closer to her father's family anyway. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's dipping it and doing it in his own little.
I mean, and look, she's doing it as well, as Lisa called her out for having the affair with Suitman, who was that girl who used to be on the Call Her Daddy podcast's ex-boyfriend. Yeah, don't you remember? And when Lisa and everyone thought Lisa was saying Soup Man.
I remember that, but I didn't know that Soup Man was Call Her Daddy's Sophia. You mean Sophia?
I think whoever the girl was that used the other girl who used to be on Call Her Daddy, not the one now,
not Alexandra, but Sophia,
the other one.
Yes, Sophia.
Yes, Sophia.
So her, because she was dating a guy who was like an HBO executive or something.
Yeah, and she called him Suit Man.
Oh.
And that was the Suit Man who Angie was seeing a couple of years ago.
And they want to talk about Seth, and they want to talk about John, and like that's my whole thing. It's like they have so much crap and skeletons and drama and all this stuff going on in their lives that would make them actually more interesting, and we would be invested in them. But all they want to do is pretend like they're victims and project and blame Lisa and Meredith for why the sky is blue. Like, it's ridiculous. It's
and then there was this other thing of when they were in New York for Britney's weird, what was it? Not pantomime, a cabaret show or whatever it was.
Yeah, because now she wants to be Luann.
Cheap cabaret, yes.
And she was flirting with some guy, and this guy said that she was acting all very single, if she, and that like she didn't have anyone. And, I mean, there's a lot of things. And then the other thing when it comes to Angie backstabbing us is that she basically got all her storylines this season off that account called Bravo Derm, who's on X. I mean, Bravo Derm was the one that suggested that she get the Greek citizenship thing as the storyline. And the fact that we've gone into season 2, like, what the hell is Andy Cohen doing? Why aren't you asking these types of questions? It's clear to me that he's inept and he is too incompetent to do basic research before walking into these reunions.
And that's putting it nicely.
Agreed. Yeah, that's being really kind.
Well, that's trying to be nice with my language for Candy's channel and viewers, but that's my sort of blunt, polite way of putting it.
So this question, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Mademoiselle says, are you going to talk about Lisa's lawsuits and all the money she's borrowed and owed? So I did talk about Lisa's lawsuits who have been dismissed. And my basic feeling is this. Everything I saw in those lawsuits, like, honestly, like, who cares? If Lisa can get a rich man to pay her Amex card, like, eat girl, like, do it. Who cares? We have all these other housewives and celebrities. Bronwyn is stealing people's identities and doing X, Y, and Z. Like, all of this crap going on. Mary's running a cult and, ML schemes. Jen Shaw's in prison for defrauding the elderly and, like, all this stuff. Like, Lisa's so-called lawsuits, like, who cares? And it's such a double standard, and it's so hypocritical. When Bronwyn's lawsuits were like the fraud and this, that, and the third all came out, the women were like, oh my God, Bronwyn, are you okay? Let's just all like cheer Bronwyn on when she comes on the yacht so she doesn't get upset. And everyone's like, who's leaking this? Who's leaking this? Who's doing this to Bronwyn? Like, her skeletons coming out is doing something to her.
It's
But when
very
Lisa
bizarre.
it's very bizarre, but when Lisa has lawsuits that have been dismissed or is in litigation, it's like, "Oh my god, Lisa, what are you hiding? Do you need to talk about this?" and blah 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 blah. Like they like go down her throat and try to shame her like there's like some gotcha moment. So it's what's good for the goose is good for the gander. Some people who have all these lawsuits out there, it's like, "Oh my god, Brahman, are you okay? Is Lisa doing this to you?" Like, stop it, girl, bye. And Lisa didn't do anything to anybody. Like,
I
whatever.
mean, look,
That
she's
was the
got all
biggest
of them
reach, yeah.
The
dismissed. I think
biggest
there's,
reach.
I mean, there's one or two that are
Mhm.
still open, both of which are in litigation.
Mhm.
So, I
I
mean,
I care
look,
because
clearly, if they got dismissed that quickly, there wasn't much of a case for them in the first place. Because if you
Yeah.
had concrete evidence, you would have put them. You would have. Yeah. You wouldn't have dropped the suit.
Yeah.
But if you were making, and then if your concerns lawyers, why would you sue them in the first place?
Yeah.
You know how much good lawyers cost. So,
Exactly.
clearly your lawyers said to you, yeah, not much of a case here, or you're pulling at strings.
Mhm. And
Not
it's
gonna
not like
work.
and it's like and it's also not one of those things where it's like, a small person, a David's going after Goliath and like the big company squashes a little person and that's why it's dismissed. Like, come on, it's different. And she says, I care because she's putting such a facade and thinking she's all that, so rich, so cool, so this, so that. They all do. I mean, they all do. You know what I mean?
I mean,
It goes back to what I was saying. Like, if Lisa does something, everybody gets up in arms when that's literally how everybody is acting, what everybody is doing. You know what I mean? It's only when someone does it that people are jealous of or feel threatened by that they get all up in arms about. No one was saying this about Bronwyn when literally they said that Todd had to step in and help her out with one of the, I don't know the term, so like I'll just say alleged lawsuits where she was allegedly stealing from a company, putting all like these charges on an expense account and all of that. No one was like, "Oh my god, you have
I
this facade of
believe,
being so
yeah, I
rich and
think
you're
he
doing this."
settled that with
Nobody
the
said that to
company
Bronwyn.
private. I think he settled it, that debt
Exactly.
privately with them.
I think he paid it off. Which again
I
goes
mean,
to Bronwyn being cuckoo. You have a multi alleged, because you never really know about these people. You have allegedly this like super rich multimillionaire husband, but yet you're committing like petty fraud with a company on an expense report.
What
Like
else
what is
what I'll
going
say
on?
Andy,
about
as
that
you,
is I'm not a fan of
Mhm.
Bronwyn, but Todd definitely does have money. I mean,
Yeah.
directors at people like HP, his role earns a hell of a lot of money.
Yeah.
like,
But I
as you
But
said,
that's
believe
what I'm
the
saying
Candy,
though.
fraud
he
You
took
have this
people
place.
rich
actually are
husband,
threatened by it.
I
you have
believe
this
the
rich
fraud.
husband, but yet you're defrauding a
No,
company's
but I
expense
believe
report
that took place just before she was with him. Then the
before.
lawsuit came when she got with him, and
And then he went back and cleaned it up for her.
yeah,
Gotcha.
that's my understanding.
Gotcha. Hey, Chocolate Chunks! Says LV is living rent free in several people's head. Exactly. She lives rent free in my head, but for like a good reason because I like love her. But like I agree with you about she lives rent free. Like she said, people count Lisas. Like at night they're like Lisa Barlow 1, 2 Lisa Barlow 3 Lisa Barlow. Like she's that girl. And I still made me so sick to my stomach how they spent 15 minutes of a 45-minute reunion talking about her like what she did and did not do cosmetically. That to me was so disgusting. Like Andy Cohen and whoever's in your ear, do better. Like do better. First of all, we don't give a crap. I don't care if she got threads. I don't care if she got face CO2. Who cares? In
Yeah, I mean,
2026, who is doing that to people these days? He literally said to her, what work have you done?
I mean, I must say, being at BravoCon, it was fascinating because you see these women on TV, but then you sort of also see them close in person. And some of them's faces don't look as maybe as great as they do on TV.
Yeah.
But Lisa looked amazing.
Yeah.
Tamra and Caroline Stanbury actually have really amazing as well. Their facelifts have turned out great. But yeah, some of them I'm not going to name and be rude, but we're just not not good. So I don't get, why are they asking Lisa these questions?
I think it's
And
strange because like it's almost
I mean, look
like
at Heather. I mean, like, you've lost half your body. You've used
Heather's
probably
lost
all
3
the
people.
Ozempic supply in Utah.
Candy, as you said, it's almost just like it's because they care about how dominant Lisa is. You know, that's why people don't give
Exactly.
a damn about crybaby Britney. I
Mhm.
mean, that is just why she is just a pawn that is just flicked off the chessboard. You know, she is no one special. I,
100%. She's non-threatening, so Britney can do and say whatever she wants, and nobody cares because nobody's threatened by Britney.
Yeah, well,
Even though
Britney
Britney's
needs
been
to.
saying horrible things.
Britney needs to be a better parent to her 2 daughters. That's what she
That
should
part.
spend her time doing, because she has to be with a man. I mean, her daughter also recently opened the fact that they were meant to be going to BravoCon as a girls' trip, and then at the last minute, she brings this Jared Osmond
Oh
along
my gosh.
to the trip, and
Awful.
they have like a massive argument over it as well.
That's
just
so
beyond.
disappointing.
So
It's
this
beyond.
therapy that they've been
Yeah.
doing is clearly not working for Britney, because she has to bring this. I don't know what she thinks she's going to benefit, because he clearly wants the fame. He
Mhm.
can't accept the fact that he's not as famous as his uncle Donnie, clearly, and that's why he's there, I think. And Britney's got some very insecure issues. She needs some diagnoses, I think, in her life
Mhm.
to
Ooh.
find out why these issues are happening. But it's insecurities from what I can see. But
agree. I love
unfortunately,
Lisa
it
Barlow
seems
so much.
both her daughters have to pay the price for this
Mhm.
behavior. And I am just bored of the Britney and Jared breaking up and getting back together. And it needs to stop.
Yeah, and it's boring and stupid, and I think they're in cahoots with it. Like, I do think their relationship is toxic, but I think they came together to be like, "This is what our storyline is gonna be. This is
And
how," you know what I mean?
I don't understand what's made Angie decide, like, because she really didn't like Britney, and now she's wanting to be her best friend this season, and they're
phony as
doing
anything.
TikToks together.
It's fake.
Because Angie is thirsty, and she's willing to be with anybody who's gonna go against Lisa and Meredith.
Yeah,
That's
I
all it
agree.
is.
But as you were saying, though, Candy, if they actually get rid of bad weather, or as Lisa Barlow put it, inbred polygamous cousins,
Destroy.
it would be fascinating to actually see what Angie and this Bronwyn are like as individuals, because they don't demonstrate their individuality. Even Angie's intro on the show is, "Oh, I've known Heather since I was in 6th grade," or whatever it was. Like it was that was her intro, was like, "I've known Heather for that long." That it
Yeah.
wasn't anything about her and her husband that doesn't supposedly even live with her. You know,
I mean,
like
do you wanna live with
her identity in her introduction to the show was, "My name's Angie and I've known Heather since I was in grade 4," or whatever. It was literally, that was like her way into the show.
Mhm.
Slightly off topic,
Okay.
but I'm actually surprised, but I'm really liking Vanderpump.
I
Vanderpump
haven't
Rules.
seen it.
It's really actually surprisingly
You
good.
promise? Because it looks
There's one
I
girl.
thought the same originally.
There's one
but
girl who is a bit.
I call her the Katie, the
There's this
resident
one
psycho
girl called
equivalent.
Angelica, and she, as Freddie just said, is that Katie Psycho Maloney.
nice.
And
Lisa's
and
resident psycho.
and she. But other than that, the cast are very It's got synergy. It's got synergy.
Really?
Fine. I'll
Yeah.
give it a go. I'll do
It's
the first 2 episodes. Is that a deal?
got. Try 3.
Oh, see? I gotta get 3 deep.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it would be good. It'd be better.
It's better than Potomac. It's better than Beverly Hills.
I mean, at this point, any damn thing is better than these sloppy shows.
Yeah.
But
I'll say slop.
Mhm.
but
Vomit about it.
I think the Stars Valley show seems interesting. Uh, that
Dolls of the Valley. Yeah, I actually like it. I have a
and
hot take. I have a hot take on Tommy and MJ. Ooh, I have a hot take on that. You guys want to hear it?
I
Yeah,
mean,
give it
I
to us.
would.
I've not started that
Give
yet.
it to us.
All I know is that Mr. Queens with low self-esteem is a interesting one. Yeah.
Reza.
No, Queens, i.e., Tommy. He's from Queens, New York.
Oh.
he's got low self. The man's got low self-esteem. Like
No, he doesn't. No, he's sad. Okay, this is my hot take. If I do,
Me and Reza.
if I review Persian style, I'll repeat myself. So in case you're here, you're gonna hear me say it again. This is my hot take on that. If I am Tommy, I am going to divorce MJ and I'm going to clean her the hell out. I'm going to take everything she has and I'm going to take my son with me. And I'm going to tell you why. If you remember the way Shaw's ended, where Reza and MJ were feuding, they had this huge fight because it was the whole rumor that Reza's husband was cheating on him, naked Jenga, all this crap. And then Mercedes was in labor, but it was like a very difficult pregnancy. She had slipped in a coma, and Tommy had seen that, and he was going through like trauma through that. And then Reza was like calling her and yelling at her, like, "Why didn't you tell me about this rumor about my husband sleeping with other men?" It was like this crazy thing. And then Reza at the party was like, "The reason why you almost died was because you had like 13 A words where you no longer, you see what I'm
yes,
saying?
that word.
It
Yes.
was so disgusting." And then he went on social media posting about like how many A words she had and all this other stuff and all her medical stuff. Like, it was disgusting and horrible. And Tommy got really pissed off, as a husband and father would, who just saw his wife flatlined trying to have their child. Like, it was crazy. And then he went to their house and like broke like some pottery in their backyard or something. And then Reza and his husband got restraining orders against Tommy. Tommy could have gotten a felony against him, and he had to spend 10 days in jail, and then he was put on probation. And then MJ wants to be friends with these people again. Hell no, absolutely not. If I had just given birth to my child and my husband's friend did everything Reza did to him, and then I was defending my husband and my husband's friend put me in jail, a restraining order, I'm on probation and I can have a felony charge, and then my husband wants to go and kiki with them.
So do you
Yeah.
think
Are
this?
you kidding me? There is
So
no
Yeah,
way
I
that
don't like
man
MJ.
ever
So
survive.
you think the
Ever.
show has caused the divorce when
No.
I
she?
think it did.
I think MJ's alliance to Reza has caused the divorce when her alliance should have been to her husband.
But don't you think that
100%.
alliance started again when they sort of were talking to Bravo about doing a sort of a revival of Shahs of Sunset?
No, because even in the last season of Shaw's, Reza and MJ are trying to find like common ground to come together. No. I'm sorry, but there is no way on this planet that I'm defending my husband and his so-called friend puts me in jail. In jail because I'm just defending them and I broke some plans. And I could have a felony against me when I just became a mother, just saw my husband almost die. And then now my husband wants to go and be friends with this person. I don't know how Tommy lasted this long. Like, he needs a medal. I don't know what person on this. I would have gotten my marriage annulled and I would have taken my child. Can you imagine going to jail? Someone put him in. He went to jail for 10 days. He could have had a felony against him.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like,
Yeah.
you got to think about this, all because of what Reza was saying and doing to his wife. He's defending her honor, and he gets put in jail for that on a felony charge. And then you want to go kiki with this person? She's lucky he lasted this long. I would divorce him so quick. If I was married to a guy who did that to me, I would divorce him so quick. I would take every penny God has ever given him, and I would be out. Could you imagine that though? And that's what
It's
Tommy
hard.
has been carrying this whole time. So when you see how disengaged he is, it's from hurt and from trauma. It's not, you know what I mean? And I think that he's been trying to find his way back to loving her, but he can't. And I think he also realized she will always love Reza more than she loves him. Because that's what it is. There's no way you love your husband more knowing that someone, take everything else out. Jail alone would have been it for me. You put my husband in jail and you think I'm ever going to talk to you again? For
Yeah,
breaking
no, I
hands?
agree with you.
So-
I agree. I just
Oh,
wasn't a
hell
fan
no.
of him or MJ to begin with. Personally, I just didn't like
They're both
either
vile.
one of the. I didn't like personally like when I watched Stars of Sunset. Even though she could go 0 to 100 in 30 seconds, or
Mhm.
even one. What am I saying? 0 to 100 in 1 second. I always liked Gigi. I just thought she was entertaining, and she
Mhm.
and what have you when I watch Stars of Sunset. But yeah, with Vanderpump, you'll be surprised.
Mhm. Well, you know what? I'll give it a go for you, Adam. Only for you, darling.
Yes, of
Chocolate Chunk
course.
says, for the first time since season 4, I have not seen a single episode of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. I just can't. Yeah, I hadn't seen any until like a couple days ago because I was like, all right, Candy, get back on the YouTube horse. Come on, girl, get it together. But it's bad.
I think the other thing with Beverly Hills is just that like this, like the debut of
Oh, wait, 1 second.
Amanda.
Manuel says, are you watching Traders? I haven't, but I want to. I haven't
We don't
watched
have it over here, sadly.
I've been watching the one in the UK because we have Traitors season 4
Didn't it
going on
start
in
in
the
the
UK,
UK,
which is
or
the
did it start in, like,
non-celebrity
Ireland?
one. But
I think
we can't get the Peacock one with the Celebrity America one because
Sadly
in
not.
the UK we also now have a celebrity one as well.
Do you
The
guys get
Traitors.
Daily Motion? Do you guys get Daily Motion in the UK?
Yes, but
Because that's where I watch like the Real Housewives of London and stuff like that because I couldn't get it in America. I watched it on Daily Motion for free.
yes, it was based on a Dutch show originally.
Dutch,
The
not
front-
Ireland. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Traitors, and then it came to the UK.
You can't get the Dutch mistaken with the Irish, Candy. They were the Irish and the Dutch. They won't be happy.
Yeah, I mean, and then we called it the Traitors, and then we did it, and then Peacock did the Traitors with the celebrity version. Now they're going to be doing one where anyone in America can apply, like how we did it. And now we've brought, in the same year that they've brought out this regular one, we've brought a celebrity one out.
Yeah, so it's the opposite effectively. But
Right.
yeah, for some reason we can't get it in right now. It says we'll have to wait until about March to get.
I've watched clips of it. I've seen
likewise.
Yeah.
I've seen
Try
clips.
Daily Motion. They have a bunch of stuff on there.
But with Beverly Hills, like the Amanda girl, like I would say, I hate to even say this. Don't get me wrong, nothing is worse than the Nat, but at least the Nat got a proper debut. Amanda's debut on the season like has been kind of almost non-existent.
She's
And,
like, I'm the girl that bought Kyle's house, and
And-
like, here's me with them in some plate shop in Beverly Hills.
And when she kind of gives the essay of a lifetime about her business, it's just like, it's kind of like,
It's
that's
funny.
not you.
It's funny because
It's so boring.
I actually knew of Amanda Francis before. Like my friends and I got like her books in one of her courses.
Yeah.
And we like
Good.
did them. Yeah. Like I like Rich AF. Like I have it on my Audible for like a couple years now. I got the Audible version. Yeah. She's a big deal in like the influencer, you know, online course space. Yeah, Rich AF and So I listened to that on Audible and we got one of her courses. I think it was like the money mentality or like money queen course or something like that. I mean, it's a pretty basic course, but this is the thing though I will say about Amanda. I don't know if she's right for Beverly Hills as a right fit. I think she could be good for a reality show. I'm just not sure it's this reality show. And also, like, when Bose is like, oh, like, that's not real financial advice. Shut up, Bose. You insufferable gnat. Ugh. Number one, Amanda never said that she gives financial advice. She's been very clear that what she does is mindset, mentality around receiving money. Those are two completely different subsets. And Bose, like, nobody wants to pretend like they are a corporate baddie like you when you're really not. Like, what are you doing, Bose? Like, you're going around giving, like, you know, mini TED Talks about being a boss babe. Like,
and then she's doing this show with Jimmy Fallon, isn't she?
Oh yeah, that thing about, like, come on, which is like a shit, like, oh, come and be a brand.
It's sort of like a bit of a.
Get out of here.
It's sort of like a knockoff of The Apprentice, and
exactly.
It's weird, but like
you want to talk about somebody else's stuff. Like, what brands are you building? I can do. You have a business?
Isn't she doing some wig and eyelashes brand or something?
Exactly. Like, girl, bye. Like, you're doing wigs and eyelashes, and with doing like fake like little talks or whatever about like being all that stuff. Like, you're doing basically what Amanda is doing. You're selling your own stuff, and you're talking. You're doing talks. Like, where's your brand? Like, what, like, you know what I mean? And I don't mean like her selling wigs brand. I mean, like, you want to act like you're this big financial person. Like, Bose, I cannot with her.
I can't with her because
wait, one minute, because I'm fired up. When she said, keep Garcelle's name out of your mouth, Bose. Like, keep her name out your mouth. When she was like, oh yeah, and Garcelle thought I was going to be on her side for some reason. Basically making a reference to being like, oh, well, Garcelle thought that I would be on our side because we're both black, was the subtext to that. Like, as a black woman, I knew exactly what she was trying to say, and I wanted to deck her in her mouth. Like, you're so
a lot of black people said this.
Yes, it's like it is
they agreed with the implication, like of what you were saying.
When she said that, I clocked it immediately, and I was like, and that's why Garcelle clocked your ass. And she said, all skin folk ain't kinfolk, because she clocked you 1,000%. Nobody is saying that just because you're two black women, you have to be friends, but you shouldn't actively try to undermine her and go against her because you're a pick-me and a wannabe, and you want to be the only black girl chosen. That is so clear when it comes to Bose.
Yep.
She wants to be the only chosen black girl amongst white people. And it is what it is. And she's just, and the fact that she's beefing with Dorit because Dorit is friends with Rachel. I thought Rachel and Bose were friends. Why can't they all be friends? Now she's a pick-me when it comes to white girls too. Like, Bose, you got to stop. Like, you got to stop, girl. Stop with your fake engagement, your fake IVF. Like, get out of here. Get off. I can't stand her. Thank you, Chocolate Chunks. Thank you. Bose is the worst. I never saw it for her, and I tried. Thank you. I clocked Bose before she was even on the show. When they were showing clips of her, remember, Adam? I was like, I was like, no. I know women like this. I smelled her coming a million miles away, and now she's almost like the narrator of the show.
I was so disappointed. I was really excited for her. I thought she was going to be a fantastic addition. She'd been, chief marketing officer at a lot of
Netflix,
corporate America companies. So I thought, her husband had died of cancer and she'd been a single parent. I thought she would have had a much more interesting story about her life than she does. And literally all she is a puppet for the producers.
Thank you.
She's Dorit's minion. She's Dorit's minion. That's how I call her.
No, but she's the EP's minion, because she's starting all these other conversations about like other stuff, and then there are random people like coming, and it's like the producer's gone, oh my god, she's so boring. So we're gonna have to tell her what to say. And
Mhm.
because Bose is so just not natural at it, it's so obvious that she's
So
sort of saying word for word what the producer's telling her to do.
Literally, I
Mhm.
mean, even that situation when Amanda's not had the best debut, but when Bose went to that beyond moment with Amanda, and it was like, "Oh, you mean his kids?" When she said,
Oh,
my child," I was just like, "Are you serious?
you know what?
Are you actually?"
We're gonna have to do a live on Beverly Hills because now I'm getting fired up.
Oh
I
yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
really actually
ridiculous.
watch
When she said they were stepkids, it wasn't like I'm the only mother in their life, you know, it's
and also two things. Also, with the whole like stepchild child thing, Bose, you are pretending to get fake married to this man. Like it's not happening. It's a joke. Okay, but just pretend.
Yep.
Let's just pretend it's real. Wouldn't you want the person that you're marrying to consider your child theirs? Do you know what I mean? Like, how would you feel if you're marrying a guy and he was like, "Well, that's not my child. That's her child." You know what I'm saying? The same way Amanda, which I think was actually very beautiful, she was like, "These are my children." You would want the person that you are married to view your children as their own, to love them as your own, not as these are the stepkids, other kids. And you don't know anybody's situation. You don't know what's going on with the mother of the kids, the biological mother of the kids. So Bose, pipe down with
but
your
why
fake
was but
IVF,
what I want to know
jumping into everything. Girl,
but
bye, hush up.
I'm
but
sorry, but
why
that was
was
just
Bose
beyond.
but
Mhm.
why was Bose so triggered about it? That's the bit I don't get. She
Because she
seemed
needs
so
Jealousy.
upset. She was
because she
acting as if
needs
this Eddie guy, Amanda's husband,
fiance.
was her ex-husband or something or
I
like
know.
that. It's
Because
weird.
Bose always has to go against anybody unless it's Dorit. And I
Yeah,
shouldn't
but she
put her Dorit,
actually
but it's
she
weird.
looked actively offended as if she was like the mum to the stepchildren or something, or
Because
she's
Bose just sucks. She sucks. She sucks.
I mean,
Alex
but
Baskin sucks too.
Oh, and did you clock? That was the other thing I'm gonna say. Did you clock how just like to Friday's point, like how Bose now is asking all the questions that Garcelle was asking, but Garcelle was asking it in a much more authentic way. Like last season, Garcelle was like, "Okay, Kyle, like call a thing to thing. Like, are you with what was her name?
Morgan.
Morgan, thank you. Or like, are you with Morgan or not? Like, you're making videos, you're making out, like you were seeing all this stuff. Like what's really good, girl? She was asking those normal questions, being like, if so we can support you, but we can't support what you're going through unless you're honest with us. And
but
everybody was like, "Oh my God, Garcelle, stop asking questions." Nyeh, 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 nyeh. But this season, isn't that the same exact thing Bose is parroting out now? Because the
no, because
told her
it's
to?
a different situation. The difference is that Garcelle was asking questions, we the viewers, and
Exactly.
most people who are normal actually were inquisitive about,
That's what
we
I'm saying.
wanted clarity for. So
Yep,
Garcelle was using her own initiative when
exactly.
asking those questions. And you
And
could
now,
tell that there was no doubt, not just because she's an actress or anything, that she genuinely had these questions like the rest of us did. The difference with Bose, though, is
mhm,
it's like the producers have agreed what types of questions Bose can ask the cast, and they're going to be happy. And she's asking these questions to start the conversations that
100%.
they've all sort of, I don't know, it's like they've agreed to talk about. And this is why they need to pause Beverly Hills. They
Agreed.
need to pause Orange County. They
Agreed.
need to get rid of 37 Flavors and Alexander Baskin and get a new
100%.
Yeah,
production company.
Yep.
yeah, Alex
And
Baskin
Potomac
is.
too.
I
Don't
don't
forget
like him. I
Potomac.
don't like him. He is the person that they gave. He was just a person who was just an employee, but now he actually is in charge of the show, and it was just because now he has his own production company alongside Evolution with this show, and I don't know. Like to me, he is the big problem. Is the producer Alex Baskin? Like I'm not a fan. Like
Mhm.
Yeah,
plus he's part of the reason why Tamrash is
Still
back
on.
on the show, but and clearly for some reason
Katie Janela's fired.
why
She got fired too.
E- Emily bossy Emily um and
Gretchen.
boring her boring partner in crime Gina are still on Orange County.
Or
I mean, I'm
who was
done with
it?
that.
Or as Kelly Dodd called Gina, Miss Middle America.
But
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I believe that I agree with Adam that Alice Baskin is a problem. Alice Baskin is a hack, of course, and he's the main reason why Garcelle left, Katie Janelle left, the OC, Beverly Hills, and Vanderpump Rules has suffered significantly, and I won't be surprised if Graduosity stays because I hated how the whole cast turned on Katie like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like Alice Baskin is racist, in my
I mean,
opinion.
it is a bit suspect. I agree with you.
Yeah.
If we're looking at the OC people that aren't
Mhm.
making it for longer than a season.
yeah, it's a strange one. I mean, the only I don't know. It's just because the fact that they now have allowed the guy to use his actual own production company alongside just being an EP. They've given him too much power, and the difference with Vanderpump though is that he doesn't take the credit for the casting. No, that was just an original group. That's why that's actually somewhat decent.
Right.
But with this lackluster of OC and Beverly Hills, that is on him because he's just someone who but yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah,
Because his
I
ego's
just
so big.
yeah, I just think he's beyond. But yes, it's nice that you're back live. I mean, no pressure to do it.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Can we answer Maid
Oh,
Moisa?
Mademoiselle says, what do
Mad-
you think about Kyle and Amanda parting ways? I personally am excited for it. I'm Team Kyle, but you guys go.
I'm not surprised. I mean, when I was in Miami last year and he was like DJing at my hotel just before I got there, but he was out and about in Miami. Put it this way, he wasn't acting like he was married. I'm surprised they were married for 10 years. I read today. I didn't even realize
They're married for 4, together for 10.
Oh, yeah, I'm surprised they've been together for that long, quite frankly. I don't know why they got married in the first place.
Season 1 of Summer House. But season 1, she was just like not like a hit it and quit it, but she was sort of like a side piece. Like he wouldn't claim her, but she was very much a pick me to him. Like she worked real hard to get him, and he kind of just gave in after 7 months. Was like, fine, I'll marry you.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
I think to me they just
the whole time. She didn't care.
They just didn't seem like a natural couple to begin with. Personally, the way that they communicated, I don't know, like.
She didn't seem like she liked him. She seemed like she was obsessed with him, but didn't actually like him. Because she'd always be like, Kyle's horrible. Like she would always berate him. And I'm not defending him in any way, shape, or form, because it's like if you're not really into her, then stop sleeping with her, stop cheating on her, just let her go. Also, you know what I mean? Like he also could have just found someone he really loved. But it was toxic and bizarre from jump. And she treated him like crap. He treated her like crap. It was just a toxic relationship all around. But I think that Amanda and Paige and Hannah and Sierra, those girls to me have always been very toxic. Those are the girls who are like, we're girls, but you're actually mean girls. Like you're not nice to anybody that comes in new. You bash guys, but you want to be treated like a queen. Like it's just a bunch of BS to me.
Yeah.
I want Kyle to be free.
Sorry, quick question. Is Brooklyn Beckham's ex Lexi Wood still in Summer House?
No, she left. She was one and done.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And they were so mean to her.
Yeah, they treat her like trash.
Thank you. The way they did Jules. Remember they treated Jules like crap? They treated Jules like crap. They treated Lexi like crap. They always clown, what's her name?
I think Bailey.
Bailey was 2 episodes and out.
Yeah, I think they. Yeah, unless
I don't know, like with the whole show, like truth be told, I only got into Summer House when you recommended it to me because it was never really big over here.
Yeah, I've never really got into it.
I only watched the last 3 seasons, and like I just, even in the last 3 seasons I've seen, Kyle and Amanda, like that was just always on edge. Like that just didn't seem like a stable relationship. I mean, I think, quite frankly, it's for the better. I don't know who's more wrong, or they both seemed like they had the, as you said, like he didn't seem interested in her, and it kind of just feel like we're here for the camera, and I'm here for, so we can make sure we keep a check. I don't know. That's just what it came across to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how I felt with like some of these
Yeah.
couples. At least with Jackson Taylor, I feel like both have one until the whole being allegations, and that's where yeah, that's just worse than Whitney. He's
Mm-hmm.
gotta go.
I'm afraid I'm gonna have to go. I've got
Yeah,
work.
Yeah, me
likewise.
too. I'm gonna go chill. But
Li-
this was. I love you guys.
Likewise.
I miss you so much, and I will be back more. Like I feel more rejuvenated now. So I'll be back.
Yes, no worries.
Yeah.
No worries. Yeah, it's lovely seeing you, and yeah, have a good night.
I will. I love you, Adam. I love you,
Love
Tay.
you. Much
I love you,
love.
Freddie. I love
Bye,
everybody. Cat
everyone.
Fox. Thank you, Mademoiselle. Thank you, Chocolate Chunks. Thank you, Miss T. Thank you. Who else is in here? Missed you too, Mademoiselle. And I love your comments because you don't agree with me, and it's nice to have those sort of like conversations of the other perspective on the other side. So keep coming, keep giving your true thoughts and your true opinions and everything. I missed you too, and I love that you share what your thoughts are, and we can have conversations about that. So I really appreciate that. Chocolate Chunks says, and Candy thinking I missed you all. I missed you too, but you guys, we're back. I'm gonna try and come on as much as I can. You know, I'm gonna do the best I can. So good to see you, Lexi. Good to see you, Fielding Allen. Good to see you, Miss T. Like I said before. If I missed anybody, oh, Miss Freebird, thank you so much. Yeah, if I missed anybody, I apologize, but this has been so much fun. It's so fun to be back. And as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and comment down below of any comments that you guys have. And yeah, I love you all. Have a safe and happy new year. I love you. Bye.